Good, beautiful Sunday, everyone. My name is Coach Darwin Rivers, and you are now watching the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. We are at episode 65. Today is October 17, and it's already 3 p.m. And as promised to you guys, the topic for the free training for today is about well-being. And we have Coach Joel Saludares, who will be discussing about the 5 cups of self-care for a total well-being. So please make sure to invite your friends to log in, invite your friends, and share our stream for today. I would like to invite you to please join us at the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. We are an online talk show program sponsored by the Philippines HR Group. My name is Coach Darwin Rivers. I'm the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, public speaker, motivational speaker, and HR consultant. Currently, I'm working as a vice president for HR in a BPO organization. And of course, with me today is no other than mentor Ronaldel Ferentino, who has more than 20 years of HR experience working in different local and international companies. Ronaldale is the president and CEO of Brush Social Geekers and also a public speaker and a known HR consultant. Hi, Rona. How are you doing today?
Hi, Coach Darwin, and magandang hapon po sa atin pong mga taga-subaybay dito sa HR Cafe. Yung mga usual na tambay po natin dito, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Huwag pong kalimutan itag ang inyong mga kaibigan sa ating comment section para naman po sila rin ay makapulot ng aral sa ating magiging topic for today. Naku, masaya-masaya po ako ngayon dahil isa na naman pong malamang-lamang very fruitful and very productive Sunday for everyone. Naku po, medyo may mamimiss nga lang tayo ngayon mga kapatid sa HR dahil medyo kailangan lang pong mag-enjoy ng kanyang araw ang ating pong kasamahan dito na si Mentor Tina dahil birthday po niya. Ayan po. So bigay natin to sa kanya para talagang ma-enjoy niya. Pero syempre mamimiss din naman natin siya dito. Coach Darwin, ikaw po, kamusta ka po today?
I'm good and very happy and looking forward for the topic that we have for today. But again, Mentor Tina ko ang happy birthday. We look forward to see you again next week. But right now, enjoy your birthday with your family and we wish you more life and more success in whatever you do. Also, we're also missing mentor Birds Kaasi, who's on leave right now, but hopefully Mentor Burns will be back by next month. So, let's start our program, Mentor Ron. Napakarami nating updates ngayon para sa ating mga ka-HR. Now, sa mga nakikinig at nanonood sa atin ngayon, we invite you to please join us at the HR Cafe. We're aired live every Sunday, 3 p.m. And here at the HR Cafe, we provide timely news and updates. We would impart knowledge and experience that are value-adding and beneficial to you, our listeners and audience. We discuss problems, issues, and challenges and provide answers and resolutions. And that's with our guest resource. That's the reason why we only get only the best resource that we can find. We also discuss new technology, tools, and processes, as well as industry's best practices. If your company is hiring, please tell us and we'll be happy to announce it on air. We are a virtual job board and we would like to be the bridge between the applicants and companies so that we can provide more work to our fellow Filipinos. At the end of the day, we bridge understanding between employers and employees, and also we would like to promote motivation and inspiration to the working Filipinos. So, whenever we start our program, we start with our wow quote for the week. Diba? So, our wow quote for the week for today is coming from a respected uh, religious and philosophical leader. And this is Mahatma Gandhi. According to Mahatma Gandhi, it is health that is the real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. Let me repeat that. According to Mahatma Gandhi, it is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. Mga nanonood sa amin, mga tagapakinig, please, how does this quote resonates to you? Put it at the comment section, your name, your company, at kung saang location po kayo naroon, and we'll be happy to share it to our community. Okay, so let's start with Mentor Rona. Mentor Rona, Mahatma Gandhi is one of our idols in terms of one of the great thinkers, our thought leaders of our time. What do you
Yes.
think is this particular quote meaning? What's
Ako
the
ay
meaning of this quote to you?
I actually agree 100% with what Mahatma Gandhi has mentioned. Oftentimes we define wealth in terms of money, in terms of compensation, but in reality, the real wealth is our health. If we are healthy, we are able to do more. If we are not healthy, be it physically or in terms of our mental health, if we are not doing good, then we would not be able to contribute, we would not be able to produce, we would not be productive. Kahit gaano pa karami ang kayamanan mo sa bangko, kung ikaw ay may sakit, mauubos yung lahat yan. Okay? Yung health ninyo, yung physical health, yung mental well-being, the well-being of a person, napaka-importante niyan. Kasi if you are in good health, if you're centered, if you are content, not necessarily 100% content, but at least you're of sound mind and body. You're able to provide more, you're able to do more, and you're able to get more of those pieces of gold and silver, so to speak, that you're after. But if you don't have health, yung pieces of gold and silver na yan, mawawala lahat yan. Okay? If you're not of good health, you will lose your relationships. You will not be able to foster relationships, nurture relationships. Hindi lang basta yung income ang pinag-uusapan dito, pati yung how you deal with people. If you're not of sound mind and body, you will have a hard time with that. So, ang talagang kayamanan sa mundo is yung inyong kalusugan, yung health of mind, health of body. Yan ang pinaka-importante na dapat natin alagaan. Ikaw, Coach Darwin, what can you say about the quote for the week, wow quote of the week from Mahatma Gandhi?
Ako, I definitely agree on what you just said, Mentor Rona. One of the realizations that I've had when I was starting was we spent a lot of time in school. We spent what? About 20 years in school, 6 years in elementary, 4 years in college, high school, another 4 years in college, and we take either a diploma or a master's degree. And after that, we work from the age of 21 up to the age of the retiring age of 65. Pero ano nga ba yung lifespan ng mga tao ngayon? Ang sabi sa studies, the lifespan is only between 65 to 75 years old. So technically, a lot of us will be working a big part of our lives. And we are only given little time to actually enjoy. And bakit ko to na na tawag ito na re-relate sa quote to kasi my realization is hindi tayo dapat hindi lang tayo dapat puro trabaho. We should enjoy working. We should be able to enjoy ourselves, pero we should be able to understand that too much work affects not only our physical health, our emotional well-being and mental health, but it affects our total personality in our total development. Intindihin po natin, ang trabaho is just one aspect of our lives. And we should be able to make sure that we look into the other aspects. And yung health is very important. Hindi ka mapopromote, hindi mo ma-achieve yung mga targets mo in life kung yung physical body mo is mahina, 'di ba? During the early parts of your career, sanay tayo ng puyatan, sanay tayo ng overtime, sanay tayo ng working on the weekends, pero it will burn you out. And when it burns you out, when work burns you out, it will manifest in your physical body. And if it manifests in your physical body, baka huli na. Baka hindi mo na ma-enjoy, not only enjoy working, but also enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, just make sure that health is your primary reason why you are working. I mean, you should be able to make sure na kahit nagtatrabaho ka, alam mo na ito yung pinangalagaan mo yung sarili mo. And you have to make sure that you have regular checks with your doctor. You have to make sure that you exercise, you eat healthy foods and whatnot. At yun ang mga bagay na minsan nakakalimutan natin kasi, di ba, focus tayo sa iba't ibang mga bagay na hindi naman importante. This quote reminds us that health is one of the things that we should focus on in life. So that's it for
True.
me. Pero Rona, I'm sure maraming mga uh, res, uh, response
Mga
yung ating
comments, yes.
mga comments ng mga tagapakinig.
Oo. Pero
Would you like
bago
to
yan,
share?
i-ano ko lang kasi naalala, dovetailing from what you have mentioned. Sometimes kasi in HR, we wear yung pag overtime ng bonggang-bongga, yun talaga wala nang pahingahan, pati rest day nagtatrabaho. We wear that as some sort of badge. Na
Correct.
kumbaga parang pride natin yun. Huwag po, please don't do that. Ako na po nagsasabi sa inyo, please don't do that. I've been like that in the past. And one of the realizations that I've had is that um, yung nawawala or yung hindi yung relationship that you lose because you spend too much time at work, the health that you lose because of too much time at work, hindi mo na yung basta-basta mababawi. So mga HR, palagi po namin sinasabi to sa inyo, take some time for yourself. Huwag niyo hayaang ma-burn out kayo. Ang dami natin sa comment section natin ng mga fourth year students from the University of Rizal System Tanay Main Campus. Ngayon pa lang po sinasabihan na namin kayo, huwag po kayong masyadong nagpapa-burn out. Dapat na matuto po tayong magpahinga. Yung nung isang araw lang ay nasita ko yung isa sa mga interns namin kasi alas 12 ng hating gabi nagtatrabaho. Sabi ko, huy, internship ito ha. Hindi ka pa full-time employee, anong ginagawa mo? Wag pahinga ka, wag kang magtatrabaho na hanggang alas 12 ng hating gabi. Walang ganung requirement. Yung trabahong yan, bukas trabaho pa din yan, next week trabaho pa din yan. So, magpapahinga palagi. Batiin lang muna natin yung ating mga nasa comment section. So, we have Carol, who is watching from Caloocan. Happy Sunday daw, sabi ni Miss Carol. We also have Grace Antarola, a fourth-year HRM student from the University of Rizal System from Tanay, Rizal. Kasama niya dito po ang kanya pong mga schoolmates na sila, Micaela, Erica, we have Pia, we also have Sai and Marilyn. Ayan. So, meron pa po sila ibang mga classmates na nasa comment section natin ngayon. Good job, guys. Maraming salamat for joining us today. Tag nyo lang po, pati professor nyo, tag nyo po para at least ma-share din natin ang topic sa kanila for today. Good afternoon then to John Bon Condino. Tinag din po niya yung kanyang mga friends. Good afternoon also to Mary Ann. Ayan, good afternoon. Sabi niya, good afternoon, coaches and everyone. We also have Jessa is also from the University of Rizal System. Ang dami nating taga University of Rizal ngayon, ha? That's good, that's good. And good afternoon also to Enrico Boral. Sabi niya, Sheena Ann Villanueva, you should hear this. So, Sheena Ann, kung ikaw po ay nakikinig right now, matutong magpahinga. Ingatan ng sarili dahil yan po ay hindi niyo na mababawi. You only have one body. Kaya ingatan po natin yan. Ayan. Okay, at syempre pa po, kung meron po tayong wow quote for the week, Coach Darwin.
Yes, kung meron tayong wow quote for the week, meron tayong HR question for the week. So this is a question that was sent to us by one of our community members at the Philippines HR group. Ang sabi niya, Coach Darwin, I've been working with my company for X number of years. Sabihin natin 15 years na siyang natatrabaho dun sa kanyang kumpanya. And after working for 15 years, she decided that she needs to move on to another company. So nagtatanong siya, Coach Darwin, after serving my company for 15 years and I decided to resign, how much will be my separation pay? That is our question for the week. Now, I think let me answer this. Una, may separation pay pa kaya siya? Pangalawa, is she entitled for a separation pay? And second is, kung entitled siya or kung hindi siya entitled, ano dapat yung makukuha niya. Now, you have to understand that if you are resigning from the company, you are not entitled to a separation pay because separation pay are only given for separations that are under authorized causes. Pag sinabing authorized causes, ibig pong sabihin po noon ay si kumpanya yung nag-decide na ito-terminate kanila because of business exigencies or business needs. At pag sinabi pong authorized causes, ano po yan, dyan po pumapasok yung redundancy, retrenchment, um, uh, diseases, ano pa ba? Lima yan eh, yung
Installation of labor-saving
installation of
devices.
labor-saving devices and closure of the
Tapos,
company. Diba? Yung limang yan. Kung hindi kayo terminate ng company because of that 5 reasons, ibig sabihin, hindi kayo under ng authorized causes. Under kayo ng just causes. Pero dito sa nagtatanong sa atin, hindi naman siya terminate. Nag-resign po siya. So, pag nag-resign, wala pong separation pay. Kahit na po gaano katagal po yung inyong pag-work sa isang kumpanya, pag nag-resign kayo, automatically, ang makukuha nyo lang po ay full and final pay. And I'm sure Mentor Rona will be able to explain more about that.
yes, bago ko po i-explain yan, i-highlight ko lang po yung kasagutan po ng isa sa ating mga members sa Philippines HR Group, si Sir Edison Andamo. Sir Edison, good afternoon po. Sabi ni Sir Edison, an employee is not entitled to separation pay when he or she resigns voluntarily from employment unless it is a company practice stipulated in the employment contract based on established employer practice in the company or provided in the CBA or collective bargaining agreement. Ang reference niyo po dito is the case of Hanford Philippines versus Shirley Joseph. Ayan. So nilagay po ni Sir Edison yung pwede niyo po maging reference. But aside from the Supreme Court jurisprudence, nakalagay din po yan sa atin pong labor code at of course the omnibus rules implementing the labor code. So tulad po ng sinabi ni Coach Darwin, pag kayo po ay nag-resign, wala po kayong makukuhang separation pay. Generally, okay? Normally, wala po kayong makukuha. However, if a company has a prevailing practice of providing separation pay, then you may be eligible for it. Pero tignan nyo po kung meron ba kayong policy for that. Okay? Not all companies would have that. And if a company does not have that, let's say yung company nyo wala, pero si company B meron, hindi nyo pwedeng sabihin sa company nyo, si company B meron, bakit tayo wala? Sa kanila yun, hindi sa inyo yun. Okay? Ang nire-require ng batas, ang separation pay ay para lamang sa mga authorized causes na termination. If it's a termination by the employee or resignation, wala po kayong separation pay. Ang meron lamang po kayo ay full and final pay na kasama po dito inyong prorated na 13th month pay kung meron man po. Bayad para do sa mga araw na ipinasok nyo na hindi pa nababayaran sa inyo. Kung meron po kayong tax refund, maaari din po yung isama sa full and final pay. At kung meron pa pong ibang dapat isama based on your company policy, so for example, yung pong conversion ng mga leave credits, if there is an existing policy or if you're eligible for it, po pwede po yung isama sa inyong pong full and final pay. But anything beyond that, wala pong nire-require ang batas. Okay? Baka sabihin nyo, bakit ganun? Nag-resign ako na ang tagal ko sa company tapos yung na-terminate, meron sila. Ang reason behind or the rationale behind the separation pay is to some sort of a consuelo para dun sa mga natanggalan ng trabaho nang hindi naman nila kasalanan. Diba? Wala namang may gusto na matanggalan ng trabaho. Regardless if it's installation of labor-saving devices, it's retrenchment, it's redundancy, hindi naman kasalanan ng empleyado. So, consuelo, kumbaga compensation for the abala, for the hassle, kaya merong separation pay. Pag nag-resign ka, wala namang, hindi ka naman naabale kasi it's your decision to resign. Kaya wala yung separation pay. Yes, it's your choice to resign. Wala yung separation pay. Final pay, full and final pay lang po makukuha nyo. Wala din po yung back pay ha. Baka sabihin nyo na, ay back pay po, dapat may back pay ako. Ang back wages or back pay, para naman po for those who have cases of wrongful termination. Ang
Correct.
nagde-determine naman po niya na yung ating labor courts na magkano po ang makukuha niyo pagdating po sa back pay. Hindi po dahil nag-resign kayo or matagal na kayo, may back pay na kayo. Full and final pay po, ano. Ayan po. Coach
Agree,
Darwin?
agree. Tama, tama. At ano mo marami sa ating mga newbies or yung mga empleyado ang hindi talaga nila nakasanayan na nila na gamitin yung term na separation pay. Pero alalahanin po natin, magkakaiba po ang definition ng separation pay, ng full and final pay, at ng back pay. So, if you are an HR professional, make sure that we use the proper verbiage for that. Kasi malilito po yung mga empleyado natin. At para sa mga empleyado, tulad nga po na in-explain ni Mentor Rona, ang separation pay po ay para po sa authorized causes na termination. Pag kayo po ay nag-resign, wala pong separation pay. Ang makukuha niyo po ay full and final pay. At pag kayo naman po ay nanalo kayo sa isang kaso, ang mabibigay sa inyo basis doon sa awards ng arbiter ay ang inyong back pay. So, I hope that may natutunan po kayo sa HR question for the week. Okay, so let's start our show by updating the Philippine Holiday Advisory. Nako, napakaraming tao, napakaraming members natin ang talagang nagulat at talagang nag-trending to kanina. Kasi batay sa proklamasyon na inilabas ni Pangulong Duterte, that this is Presidential Proclamation number 1107, special working day po ang mga araw na November 2, December 24, at December 31. Ibig pong sabihin ng special working day, wala pong pay premium. Ibig pong sabihin, pag pumasok po kayo sa mga araw, kailangan nyo pong pumasok sa mga araw na ito kasi hindi po siya holiday. At kailangan po ay pag pumasok kayo, syempre, babayaran kayo. Pero pag hindi po kayo pumasok, it's either gamitin niyo po yung leave credits nyo or hindi po kayo mababayaran. Okay? Kasi nakasanayan na natin na, di ba, pag December 24, pag dispiras ng Pasko or end of the year, talagang nag-holidays tayo. Di ba? Or kaya after ng November 1, November 2, yung iba nag-extend pa para sa sa pagdalaw sa sementeryo. Now, sinabi kasi ng ating gobyerno na kaya binigay ang Proclamation number 1107 is because gusto nilang baguhin yung listahan ng mga holidays para sa taong 2021. So may mga holidays, ito nga, itong November 2, December 24, December 31, na kung dati holiday siya, ngayon, hindi na siya holiday. Holiday siya in a sense, kasi inaalala
Special
siya,
siya.
oo, special siya, inaalala siya, pero wala po siyang bayad. 'Di ba? Wala po siyang bayad, kailangan yung magtrabaho. Yan po ang paliwanag ng Malacanang at ito po ay dahil sa gusto daw nilang mabawasan ng mga araw na walang pasok para makatulong sa pagbangon ng ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. Kasi for the past 2 years, because of the pandemic, napakarami ng mga araw na wala ng pasok ang mga manggagawa. Kaya tandaan, November 2, December 24, December 31, special working day, pero wala pong holiday pay premium. Okay? So that's
Ulitin
it from
natin
my...
ha. Wala pong additional premium ha. Baka malito po kayo. Baka sabihin nyo, bakit special? Kasi po meron tayong kino-commemorate on that day. Pero wala po. Nilagay na po namin yan. Nilagay na rin ni Coach Darwin dun sa ating group. No additional premium or no premium pay for the day. Yung 100% lang po makukuha nyo pag pumasok kayo. Pag hindi po kayo pumasok, either it's no work, no pay, or you make use of your leave credits
Leave
para po
credit.
i-cover yung inyo pong bayad for that day. Ayan po.
Special day lang po. Special. Pero walang kayo. Special lang siya sa inyo.
Oo. Kailangan talaga ng label, ano.
Kailangan
Importante
ng
talaga may
label, oo.
label tayo sa mga ganitong bagay para hindi po tayo nagkakalituhan. Sa kahit anong bagay po, dapat may label. Huwag papayag ng walang label. Ayan. May
So ano bang
pinaghuhugutan.
ano bang balita sa SSS, Mentor Rona?
Ayan, bago po tayo pumunta sa SSS, meron kasi nag-post kanina doon sa atin pong Philippines HR Group. Nagtatanong siya na ano ba ang susundin, yung daw bang latest na proclamation or yung nauna. Siyempre po, yung latest proclamation, yun po yung
Latest,
in
correct,
effect. So yung sa
correct.
latest proclamation which was last February 2021, dun po sinabi na yung kung ating tatlong days na binanggit, November 2, December 24, and December 31, are no longer non-working days. They are just special working days. So yun po yung masusunod. Pero baka naman kasi sabihin ng ibang mga companies na ay ano yung sabi kasi sa batas hindi na lang namin. Guys, ito po yung minimum. Ngayon for example in our case, in our company, we have decided na non-working day siya sa amin. Yung November 2, December 24, December 31, non-working day na siya at least for our company. Simply because ayaw na namin magkagulo pa yung mga empleyado. They do get paid for that kung paano hinahandle yung special non-working day before. Ganun namin siya i-handle. But meron kayong option to go beyond sa kung ano ba yung nire-require ng batas. As sinasabi lang po ng ating gobyerno, guys, po pwede kayo na hindi po pwede i-require yung mga empleyado nyo na pumasok para mabayaran sila for that day. Pag hindi sila pumasok, no work, no pay, dahil ito pa yung special working day, pumasok sila 100% lang, walang additional premium. Okay?
Agree. Ano
Clear
pa
po
mga
tayo dyan,
holiday
ha?
ang ano? Agree. Ang mga holidays na ano na parating ay syempre yung November 1,
November 1,
November
yes. So, yung
1 which
November 1,
is
okay pa tayo.
All
Uh,
Souls Day, ano yan, All Saints Day, 'di ba?
All
November
Saints Day.
1.
Oo. It's
Next
a
is would
Monday.
be Nov uh,
December 8.
November 30.
November 30 pa pala.
November
Oo.
30 which is Bonifacius Day. After
Yes.
Bonifacius Day, yung December
December
8,
8.
yung pinakabago, Feast of the Immaculate Conception of Mary. And after that,
Yes.
Christmas na po, yung December
Yes.
25th. Yun.
And then we have si
December
Rizal Day
Rizal
na.
Day ng December
Oo.
30. Okay, yung iba kasi
Medyo
nasa ano yung
marami-rami. Marami-rami
marami-rami pa
din naman.
naman.
Oo. So mga nagtatanong bakit ito po yung mga naisip, bakit yung mga November at December holidays ang ano. Last year nung actually in early part of this year nung in-announce ito, naisip ko rin na parang bakit yung mga December holidays, ba't hindi na lang yung Ninoy Aquino Day or yung Chinese New Year or yung kung ano pa man. Pero naisip ko, oo nga naman, November, December, dito yung karamihan ng holidays. 'Di ba? Other months pa isa-isa-isa, dalawa, except for yung ating Holy Week, pero yung regular
Holy Week.
holidays yun, so hindi pwedeng basta-basta alisin yun. Karamihan ng holidays natin actually falls sa November and December, kaya dun din nila, yun yung pinawasan nila. So yung sa mga nag-iisip ko na baka ano ba naman yan, hindi na consider, pakiramdam ko naman meron namang thought process involved kung bakit nila din nag-decide na yung sa November, December ang tanggalin nila ng holidays. Ayan po. So, syempre, papunta po tayo sa ating paboritong government agency. Paborito ko po sila dahil may opening sila for Vice President or administration. Mukhang maganda yon. Anyways po, kung kayo po ay kung kayo po ay members ng mga Grab, Tok ba yun? Tok or yung mga nagde-deliver po, pwede po kayo makibahagi sa atin pong sabi nga ng SSSD, essential has arrived. Makibahagi na sa isang speedy ngunit makabuluhang usapan para po sa proteksyon at benepisyo po ng ating mga riders. So this one is happening on Monday, October 18. Bukas po yan, 9 a.m. via SSS Facebook page. So, kailangan nilang pong tumambay sa Facebook page ng SSS kung kayo po ay mga riders or may mga kilalang riders para makita nyo po at maintindihan nyo po kung ano po yung ino-offer ng SSS na mga proteksyon at benepisyo po para sa inyo at sa inyong pamilya. Okay, so ito po ay automatic pong kasali rito lahat ng delivery riders kahit na po ano po pong platform ang ginagamit nyo. So tomorrow po yan, October 18, 9 a.m. para po sa ating mga delivery riders. At pinapaalalahanan din po ng SSS ang lahat po ng mga miyembro na uma-accept na po ulit sila ng applications for UMID cards. So ito po ay nasuspend po ito yung application for new cards nung magsimula po ang community quarantine. At dahil ngayon po tayo po ay nasa GCQ level 3 na, nag-accept na po ulit ang SSS ng UMID card application. So kung
Mentor
gusto nyo
Rona,
po, yes po.
mm, may marami nagtatanong sa atin, bakit pa daw kailangan ng UMID kung meron naman daw national ID na sinusulong ang gobyerno?
Mahilig po kasi ang Pilipinas sa ID. Joke lang. Mahilig po tayo sa ID para kumuha ng ID. Pero ang UMID card po kasi, right now, since hindi pa naman po fully implemented talaga yung ating national ID system at in the process pa lang po ng registration, yung UMID po ay maganda rin po siyang gamitin para naman po sa ating mga government agencies, yung ating pong SSS PhilHealth Pag-ibig or GSIS PhilHealth Pag-ibig, isang number na lang po yung tatandaan nyo. Tandaan natin na magkakaiba kasi yung numbers natin. We have SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig. So, hindi naman po required. Okay? So, baka isipin nyo kasi na kailangan nyo pumunta sa SSS at mag-apply for UMID. Hindi po required na mag-apply for UMID kung gusto nyo lang po. Okay? Unified na kasi siya, so lahat ng records nyo nandun. Personally, even though we are posting it here, ako sa totoo lang, hindi ako nag-apply for UMID card. Bakit? Hindi pa, sa totoo lang po, hindi po ready ang system ni PhilHealth, ni SSS at ni Pag-ibig for the UMID. Kasi kung maaalala nyo, pag kayo po ay nag-register ng mga employees nyo under SSS PhilHealth Pag-ibig, hihingin pa rin po sa inyo yung individual numbers for those different government
Correct.
agencies. Hindi nyo magagamit yung sa UMID. Kung gusto nyo lang naman po, the UMID can be used and it is being honored as a valid ID. So if, for example, you're having a hard time getting an ID for other government agencies, UMID can help you with that. Okay, kung nahihirapan po kayo. Pero kung kunwari nag-apply na po kayo for national ID, tapusin nyo na lang po yung application for national ID. They have already started processing that. I am actually scheduled tomorrow for step 2. Tapusin nyo po yun kasi yun mas acceptable po yun. At some point, even the voter's ID will now be under the national ID system. Kaya yung mga nag-a-apply po ngayon for voter's ID, actually, baka hindi na po kayo bigyan ng ID mismo, yung national ID na po ang gagamitin for that. Okay?
Saka
Pag
yung
kayo
national
po,
ID, ano, 'di ba? Meron silang partner banks, which is Land Bank or
yes,
DBP ba.
correct.
So basically, kung halimbawa meron kayong mga loans na under SSS Pag-ibig, pwede nyo rin gamitin yung ano, yung transfer siguro sa ating national ID. Pero that's something
Mm-mm.
that they need to work out.
Yes,
Kasi may
correct,
mga partner
correct.
banks na rin naman ng national ID.
Correct. So may mga partner banks po yan. Kaya nga mas maganda na kung magpa-process din naman kayo, kung may SSS ID na kayo, instead of going for UMID, I would recommend that you go for the national ID system na lang po. Para mas marami kasi magiging benefit niyo doon. Kung kayo po, di daw po valid yung national ID. Valid po yan, pero wala pa pong
Valid.
na-i-issue. Okay, valid pa po, but I don't think na meron nang na-issue kasi nagpa-process pa lang sila. But it's a valid ID, kaya nga siya national ID system. It's also being promoted by SSS. So
Correct.
mapapansin nyo na may mga posts sa Facebook page ng SSS that they're the ones promoting the registration for the national ID system kasi that will be used po moving forward para sa lahat po ng identification. Ano po ang requirements kapag magpapareplace ng new UMID kasi nawala po yung old ID? Ano lang po yan, affidavit of loss, tapos punta lang po kayo sa SSS. Kailangan po kasi ito ng personal appearance para po ma-process dahil kayo po ay kukunan ng biometrics and of course your picture. Okay? Pero yun lang naman po yung requirements for the UMID application. So kung meron naman na po kayong pending for national ID po, maganda na po yan. Pwede na po yan. Okay? At syempre pa, ang pinakamamahal ng lahat na government agency, kung ako ay paborito kong SSS, mas paborito ko ang Pag-ibig dahil isa po sila sa mga talaga naman po marami po tayong nakukuhang benefits. At napakatahimik lang sila, wala silang masyadong mga issue pagdating sa pondo nila, kaya mahal na mahal natin ang Pag-ibig. Ina-announce po nila ang kanilang virtual housing fair. This is actually mga webinars po nila scheduled on different days. So tapos na po sila for yung webinar po on how to get a home loan. Nag-discuss na rin po sila on acquired properties yesterday. And then this coming Saturday po, ang magiging discussion naman po is pag kayo po ay may problema sa inyong mga home loans, ano po yung mga remedies na available po sa inyo para hindi naman po mainit ang inyong pong property. So yun po yung magiging discussion this coming October 23, 9 a.m. Free webinar po ito. Okay, free webinar po ito. na pinoprovide po ng pag-ibig. Punta lang po kayo sa kanilang Facebook page para pa sa detalye ng kung paano po kayo makakasama dito po sa kanilang webinar on A Home for Keeps. Save your home with remedies available to you. At ang kanila pong huling webinar will be happening on October 30 to 31. Two-part webinar po yan. Choose Your Home Adventure. Napakawiti ng gumawa ng title nito. Virtual showcase of the properties that are currently for sale sa Pag-ibig. There have been a number of very, very feel-good stories about yung mga properties na binibenta po ng Pag-ibig, yung mga ino-offer nila sa auction. It's not 100% sobrang ganda, but it's a good way to start. Let's say you want to have a property, maganda po siya. Meron akong isang nabasa na story na nung kinuha nila yung property ay hindi pa ganun kaganda, meron pang nakatira doon, so they had to work through all of the documents. They were able to get that via the acquired properties of Pag-ibig. Tapos ni-renovate nila, ang ganda na ng property ngayon. Pinaparentahan na nila ngayon yung property na yun, so additional income for them. So yan, so mga ideas po yan na baka gusto nyo i-take into consideration para po sa inyo po mga properties. So this Hanap Bahay Virtual Housing Fair is a joint program with Pag-ibig, Human Settlements Adjudication Commission, National Housing Authority, National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation at Social Housing Finance Corporation. Ayan. Okay. At
Okay.
syempre pa, ang ating isa pang gusto namang tirisin, si PhilHealth naman po. So sabi ni PhilHealth, alamin mo ang benepisyo mo. Kung kayo po ay merong condition na diabetes mellitus with coma or ketosis, kayo po ay pwedeng mag-avail ng diabetes mellitus package ng PhilHealth. Pag HCI po, this is up to 11,060. Professional fee ay nasa 4,740 po ang i-cover po nila. Ito pong benepisyo ng PhilHealth na ito ay para po sa mga confined. So hindi dahil sa meron kang diabetes ay pwede ka na mag-avail. Hindi po ito cash package. Ito po ay para po doon sa mga magagastos po sa hospital. So if you're confined, you can take advantage of the coverage na up to 15,800. If you want to know more about the accredited healthcare providers, log in lang po kayo sa PhilHealth, punta po kayo sa Facebook page ng PhilHealth, andun po ang kanilang mga accredited providers. If hindi accredited ang provider, hindi po kayo makakapag-take advantage nitong mga to. So make sure that your provider is accredited and make sure that your PhilHealth is also updated. Okay, PhilHealth number, PhilHealth records, lahat po yan updated. Meron na pong online portal ang PhilHealth para makita nyo po kung updated po ba ang inyo pong mga contributions kay PhilHealth. Meron din po silang community isolation benefit package. We have mentioned this before. Nag-o-offer po si PhilHealth ng community benefit package up to 22,449 pesos. Ito po ay para sa mga pasyenteng posible at kumpirmado may COVID-19 at yung mga asymptomatic po at mild na kaso at nangangailangan ng isolation. Again, hindi po ito cash benefit. Ito po ay coverage po para po sa isolation ninyo. So you need to be in coordination with an isolation provider. Okay, meron po tayong mga clinics or hospitals na nagpo-provide po ng isolation facilities. Pag sila po ay accredited ng PhilHealth at doon po kayo nag-isolate, covered po yan up to 22,449 pesos. Make it a habit to check the website of PhilHealth para po dun sa mga covered na providers, accredited providers, or their Facebook page para po dun sa updates regarding the community isolation benefit package at kung sino-sino po yung mga accredited na providers ni PhilHealth. Ayan po. Coach Darwin, back to you.
Thank you, Mentor Rona. Now, of course, a few words from our sponsors. El Puerto Marina Beach Resorts and Vacation Club is our partner. And for all those members of the Philippines HR Group and our avid listeners of the HR Cafe, nako, ano na ngayon, di ba? Marami ng tao ang gusto mag vacation. So just reach out to El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. You can reach out to them via FB. They have beach resorts and vacation club in Pangasinan, in Boracay, and soon to open in Coron, Palawan. Just message them at the FB page. Look for and inform them that you are a member of the Philippines HR Group and you will be given discounted rates. Also, if your company is looking for a virtual HR certification program, our partnership with People Matters under their BNext program is, of course, for each and every member of the Philippines HR group. So if your company is looking to have any certification programs, virtual recruiting or onboarding, virtual performance management, reimagining employee experience, at marami pang iba, marami na po ang mga Fortune 500 companies ang nag-avail ng virtual certification programs under People Matters. And if your company is willing, just tell your organization that you get 25% discount because you are a member of the Philippines HR group. Just use a discount code PHRG25. You need to reach out to them at People Matters website or at People Matters FB page. We have a partnership with People Matters Singapore and People Matters India. Now, if you're looking for a smart HR management system, then People Force is a HRM system, a cloud-based HRM system that provides recruitment, engagement, timekeeping, performance management, and payroll, and they'll be able to help you in your HR management system needs. Just reach out to them at People Force or People Force HRM in Facebook. And as a member of the Philippines HR group, you will get free 14 days of trial. And our newest partnership is under MaxiCare. So si MaxiCare po ay may dalawang product ngayon, ang MaxiCare Prima Gold and Prima Silver. For MaxiCare Prima Gold, this is a postpaid healthcare card. So the prepaid healthcare card for seniors 60 years old and above, it gives a limited availment of up to 255 lab tests and diagnostics, unlimited outpatient consultations, annual ER coverage of up to 20,000 pesos, annual dental benefits, and pre-existing conditions are covered, membership valid for 1 year. So magagamit po yan ng mga senior 60 years old and above. Now, para po sa individual 0 to 59 years old, meron po tayong Prima MaxiCare Silver. And Prima Silver gives unlimited availment of up to 255 lab tests and diagnostics, unlimited outpatient consultants, annual dental benefits, and it also covers pre-existing conditions for 1 year. So if you are an organization that is looking for upgrading your healthcare program, you can use this postpaid card, or you can also use it as a gift or incentive to your employees. So just reach out to MaxiCare for more information about MaxiCare Prima Gold and MaxiCare Prima Silver. Also, if you have questions, please, we invite you to post them at the Philippines HR Group. We have the Philippines HR Group in Facebook. We're more than 260,000 members right now. We also have a growing community in LinkedIn under also the Philippines HR Group. And we also encourage you, i-like nyo po ang FB page namin ng HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay at Iba Pa. Nandiyan po lahat ng mga previous free training programs, previous episodes ng HR Cafe. Bukod dito, the Philippines HR Group is also in YouTube. You can also watch all the free training programs that we've been doing over the past years. If you would like to be a sponsor of the Philippines HR Group or the HR Cafe, please reach out to any of the mentors, Mentors Tina, Mentors Rona, Mentors Burns, or me, or you can message us at or email us at darwinrivers@yahoo.com. Now, as mentioned earlier, we have a very special guest for today. Our special guest is a certified life coach. And I've known him for the best part of my life. He's actually a senior of mine. And he's not only a certified life coach, he's also a feast builder and a motivational speaker. We have right now, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Joel Saludares, who will be discussing about the 5 self-care cups of total well-being. Hello, Mentor Joel. Hello, Coach Joel. Coach Joel, you're on mute.
Coach, nakamute ka
Yeah.
ata, Coach.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. A pleasant afternoon to everyone who's watching us here in HR Cafe. Ako personally, I would like to thank Coach Darwin and everyone, Philippine HR Group, for having me this afternoon. Alam mo ano, in my line of work, I a lot of times I deal with a lot of HR HR personnel. So yeah, it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be able to serve all of you today. So yeah,
Okay, man.
yon. So
Coach Joel, your topic is about well-being. Why well-being? Bakit importante ang well-being sa isang individual at sa isang empleyado?
alam mo kanina ang ganda nga nung ano niyo, ang ganda nung quote niyo for the week, 'di ba? Yung quote niyo yung kay Gandhi where he talked about health. And when we talk about health, it's not just kasi 'di ba, may mental health, may physical health, may emotional health. But today what I want to talk about, perhaps ako I believe alam na natin to but we need to be reminded from time to time, especially during these days ano. I mean, how many days? Hindi na nga lang days. It's been what? It's been more than 1.5 years. We're approaching 2 years of this pandemic, of this quarantine, and we've been affected in so many ways. Kaya importante yung ano, yung not just your kasi 'di ba to be honest, in the past months talagang usong-uso mental health, mental health, mental health. But you know what? Hindi pwedeng ano hindi there are many aspects of our health and I believe they are all interrelated. Kapag yung mental health mo is okay but the other aspect is not okay, ano pa rin it will still affect you. I know of people who are physically very healthy. Alam mo yon, goes to the gym, exercises, eats the right kind of food, pero because their emotional, their spiritual health is not doing well, then affected ka pa rin. If you really want to do well, if you want to really if you want to be able to give your best in everything that you do, it's all about total total wellness, your total wellness, your the health of your well-being, yung buong ikaw. Hindi natin pwede i-dichotomize lang we have to take
Agree.
care of all of this because they are connected, di ba? That connected sa isa't isa I mean, you can be physically healthy but if you're socially, yung social life mo is healthy, wala din, it will still affect you as a whole. So
Agree.
yeah.
And as an HR professional and as a people leader, what you need to understand also is that um, you will be able to use these learnings that you will be having right now with Coach Joel for you to decide what are the programs that you can implement in your organizations para holistic yung approach
Yep.
ng well-being ng ating mga empleyado. And of course, pag healthy ang ating empleyado, pag healthy ang kanilang well-being, of course, healthy din ang ating revenue cycle. Kasi 'di ba, they will be more productive, they'll be more engaged. So, Coach Joel will give you the floor, and then after your presentation, we'll go for the Q&A after that. So, we'll give you the floor,
Okay,
Coach
thank you,
Joel.
Coach. Thank you, Coach Darwin. Thank you, Mentor Rona. So let me just share with you my screen first. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, today I'll be talking about the 5 self-care cups of total well-being. But before that, allow me first to introduce myself to you a little more. My name is Coach Joel Saludares. You'll be surprised. Sabi nga ni Coach Darwin, I'm a senior of his in high school. But professionally, I took up BS Medical Technology in UST way back. Yun na lang, pwede bang way back na lang? Para wala nang laglagan ng edad. But yeah, and I practiced my profession for 5 years. I work at Philippine Heart Center. But from then on, there was a shift in career. Perhaps you will ask me, some people who's watching right there asking, bakit siya yung speaker natin? Total self-care and all. Bakit? But yeah, after practicing my profession, I move into many different careers. Alam niyo po, naging salesman ako. But for the longest time, siguro for more than 10 years, I have been coaching people. I have been helping people. I have been mentoring people. My personal belief is that there's always goodness in all of us, and that's my advocacy, to really bring out the best in everyone. So that's what I do. Recently, about 3 years ago, with the help and the influence of Coach Darwin, I was able to take my life coaching certification. That was way back 2018, February of 2018, which has also helped me in what I have been doing for the longest time. And of course, together with my wife, Yan, we are also known as Mommy Said, Daddy Said. This is our podcast that initially we launched this last year, when the podcast last year when the pandemic started. But just recently, we've relaunched it. You can follow us in Spotify and in our social media platforms. Just look for Mommy Said, Daddy Said. And every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we release new episodes. We talk about marriage, family, relationship. Again, that's our advocacy. We've been married for 15 years, and we've been blessed. We've gone through a lot, and this time around, we really want to give back. We really want to give back and help other couples that we believe in a happily ever after relationship, but that's something that you work on, sometimes something na pagtatrabahuhan nyo every single day until the very end, but it's possible. So do follow us there. And of course, you can follow me on my Facebook profile. I'm very much open to engaging everyone. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, I really love to talk, to help others bring out the best in them. Ayan. I'm also a feast builder, as mentioned by Coach Darwin. I've been serving with the Light of Jesus family for more than 20 years already. But for the past 8 years, I've gone full time serving God in the community, the Light of Jesus family. If you have heard of the feast, yan, the feast has been founded by Brother Bo Sanchez. Yan, I've been blessed to be mentored, to be serving with this grabe, this amazing servant of the Lord. But you know what? More than his more than being good, being great, I really am blessed because I have seen his humility in how he has really been serving and following the Lord. You know what? I'm also a social media manager. Together with my wife, we manage social media platforms for brands. I also do a lot of things. Right now, I'm a freelance speaker. I'm a freelance uh, retreat master. I do corporate trainings. I do retreats, recollections, team buildings. I do a lot of things. But more than anything else, uh, with all these things that I do, this is my first ministry. If I will not become the best husband and father to my children, then I have not accomplished what God has asked me to do. So yeah, so that's me. I hope that in the next few minutes that we'll be together, sabi ko nga no, we'll be talking about self-care cups of total wellness, of total well-being, things that perhaps you already know but needs to be reminded of. And I want to start by asking you this question. Diba? 5 years from now, I want you to imagine 5 years from now, when this pandemic has ended already, how would you capture your entire experience of the pandemic in one word or in a phrase? Those of you who's watching us on Facebook, and I encourage you to type in your comments if you will have a memory moving ahead, moving forward in the future. If you will have a memory of the pandemic, what word would capture best that experience of the pandemic, di ba? Iba-iba tayo eh. We have different experiences, we have different ways of how we coped up during this pandemic. I know people whose best was brought out during this time. But I know of people who really succumbed and you know what, talagang nahirapan in dealing with this pandemic. Why? Because the truth is, 'di ba? Sabi ko nga, in one way or another, we have been affected. And we don't know when will this end, di ba? Magdadalawang taon na. Ako, thank you na bumababa na uli yung number of cases. But you know what? Yung ewan ko ba sa virus na to, it's been adapting. It's also been, di ba, parang mutating, and then every so often comes another deadlier, a deadlier virus that would affect us again. So hindi natin alam. So we need to equip. We need to arm ourselves on how we can go through these difficult times. Again, di natin alam when, how it will end, but we need to empower ourselves. So this is my question to you today. Kamusta ka? Kamusta ka ngayon? Okay ka lang ba talaga? You need to be able to start caring for yourself. Kayo, nasa HR profession kayo. I mean, you care for people, you care for the employees of the company, di ba? Ako, alam na alam ko to, hindi lang kayo hindi lang yung, di ba madalas nga, hindi lang naman yung professional, in a professional sense, but oftentimes, di ba, you also care for them in their total wellness. Kasi sabi nga natin, pag everything in them is okay, they become more productive. Meron ako isang kaibigan na HR practitioner. She was interviewing an applicant. And then sabi niya, naku, all of us, interview pa lang to hindi pa siya part ng company. But all of a sudden, that employee was already pouring out what's happening, the situation, and all and everything. And how can you do this? How can you help others if you don't help yourself first? So your total well-being starts with yourself. You cannot take care of others if you cannot take care of yourself. Tama ba yon? Can you relate to that? So the question is, how do you take care of yourself? 'Di ba? And this is my belief. That the way that you should take care of yourself must be a reflection of how God is taking care of you. How God sees you. This is very important. How do you see yourself? Do you deserve? Kasi maraming ganun okay na to, ganito, kasi eto ako. What am I trying to say? You need to see that, yes, you deserve to be taken care of. You deserve a better you. You deserve to take care of yourself. Why? You need to take care of yourself. Why? Because you deserve it. And as always, di ba? How we see, that's very important How you look at yourself, how you see yourself. Kaya nga ang tanong, how? Paano mo dapat makita ang sarili mo? Ako, this has been a practice of mine for a long time, and I'm really blessed to have known this. Pero this is something that we need to remind ourselves. Diba? Pagising mo sa umaga, anong tingin mo sa sarili mo? Do you see yourself as someone who can make things possible, you can accomplish things? Or you wake up in the morning and you say, hey, naku, problema na naman. Hay, naku, ito na naman. Hay, naku, wala akong magagawa. Why? Because I know a lot of people in the ministry that I do. I've been serving in ministry for more than 20 years. I talk to a lot of people who doesn't even believe in themselves. 'Di ba? Kung hindi ka nga naniniwala sa sarili mo, you don't even believe that you can make things happen, that you are capable, that you are able, then you won't even feel that you deserve all these beautiful things that there is outside for you. So again, this is one secret. When you see yourself, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Diba? If you want to be able to really take care of yourself, you need to see a masterpiece right before you. Pag tumingin ka ba sa salamin, diba? Sasabihin mo ba, oy, I see someone who is amazing, who is beautiful, who is empowered, who is capable. Or when you look at the mirror and you see yourself, what do you see? Duwag, diba? Duwag, mahina, walang magagawa, walang mararating. This is very important. If you want to change this negative self-image, if you want to change this negative self-beliefs, you need to see yourself as a masterpiece. Ano nga ba ang isang masterpiece? 'Di ba? For example, ito, 'yan 'di ba? Pag nakita mo 'to, anong sasabihin mo? Diba? Wow, ang ganda. How do you see things? How do you see things as a masterpiece? Yung pag tinignan mo, 'di ba? Tinignan mo pa lang, nakita mo na at sasabihin mo, wow, ang ganda. Alam mo, itong susunod na papakita ko sa inyo, masterpiece ito, tuwa ako dito. Kami ng tatay ko, naalala ko to eh, ito. O, di ba? Wow! Pag nakita mo, but yeah, kidding aside, ito, pag tinignan mo to, di ba, anong nakikita mo? Di ba? It's another masterpiece. Sasabihin mo, wow! Kaya pag tinignan mo yung sarili mo sa salamin, ano ba sinasabi mo? Wow? O edi wow? Again, to see yourself as a masterpiece. When you look at yourself, do you believe that you are a masterpiece? Tama? Or ito, ako, I love this. I think this is Joey Velasco's interpretation of the Last Supper, di ba? Truly, truly a masterpiece. So that's the first way eh. How would you believe that you are a masterpiece? Is to see yourself as a masterpiece. But there's a second way. Because sometimes, 'di ba? What? Sometimes we don't see it. We don't see it in ourselves. Hindi natin nakikita. So how would we know that we are a masterpiece? Yan. If we have been created by a master craftsman. For example, o 'di ba? Itong mga to kilala. Kilala sila to have made a lot of masterpiece. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael. Hindi po ito ha. Ito iba to. Pero yung 'di ba, the greatest painters, sculptors of the olden times, 'di ba? Talagang pag sila ang gumawa, sigurado ka masterpiece 'yon. Tama? 'Di ba? So you need if you don't see yourself as a masterpiece, yeah, you need to be reminded that you are a masterpiece. Why? Because you have been created by the masters of all masters. Oftentimes, friends, we forget because we don't see it in ourselves or pwede rin, baliktad natin. We don't see it in others, ba? Hindi mo ma-appreciate yung ibang tao. Why? You don't see them as a masterpiece. Sabi ko nga, pag tinignan mo, hindi wow eh. Eh di wow, di ba? But we need to be reminded when we forget that when we don't see the masterpiece in us or in others, we need to be reminded that we have been created by the masters of masters. That there is a piece of God in us. Diba? It is God who created us. And having said that, knowing that, now you realize that you deserve it. You deserve to take care of yourself. Before I go to the 5 cups of total wellness or total well-being, let's be reminded practical ways. Kasi when you take care of yourself, it means that you are loving yourself. Tanong, do you love yourself? Do you believe that you need to love yourself? Of course. But how do you love yourself? Quickly, I want to go through 5 practical ways. There are a lot of ways to love yourself, but these are just 5 practical ways of loving yourself that you can do, especially in these times. Number 1, ayan, you need to start telling yourself what you love about yourself. Kailangan alam mo kung ano ang kamahal-mahal sa'yo. Di ba? Pag ikaw nagmamahal ng ibang tao, kanina si Coach Darwin may mga hugot eh. Saka ito si Mentor Rona eh, may mga may label pa ako narinig kanina eh. Pero 'di ba, kapag nagmamahal ka ng ibang tao, alam mo kung bakit mo sila minamahal. So to love yourself, you also need to remind yourself, ano ba ang kamahal-mahal sa akin? What do you love about yourself? Sige nga, meron ba, can you just type down in the comment section? Ano ba yung mga bagay na mamahalin mo sarili mo? Ano yung dahilan? You need to find that reason. Di ba? You need to find that purpose. Why? You will love yourself. Bakit? Di ba? Kasi pag hindi nila makita, ikaw ang magre-remind sa sarili mo. Again, you need to be able to love yourself. Know what is mabait ako. Alam mo bang mabait ka? Ay, ganda ako. Ay, malipag ako. Ay, matyaga ako. These are things, di ba? What characteristics, di ba? Ano yung meron sa'yo? Hindi lang para mahalin ka ng ibang tao, ha? Pero para mahalin mo ang sarili mo. But bottom line again is, mamahalin ko ang sa sarili ko kasi mahal nga ako ng Diyos eh. Kung ang Diyos na gumawa sa akin, minamahal ako, how much more ako? I can and I will love myself. Tama ba yon? Next practical step to love yourself. Ayan. Dito maraming bumabagsak. We're not perfect. Sometimes we focus too much on the wrong things, the wrong decisions, the failures, 'di ba? The sins that we have. And we say, naku, hindi ako karapat dapat mahalin kasi ang dami kong mali, ang dami kong hindi nagagawa, ang dami kong maling desisyon. But then again, we can never be. We can never be perfect. We can never be perfect. We have to remind ourselves that we are not perfect. And knowing that we are not perfect means knowing na okay lang. Alam nyo, hindi masamang nagkakamali. It's not a mistake. Hindi masamang magkamali. The more important thing is, what do you do with your mistakes? What do you do with the wrong decisions that you do? 'Di ba? Do you just dwell on them and feel bad about them? Or more importantly, yes, it's important that you recognize your mistakes, but what do you do? Nagkamali ka lang ba? Alam mo, the good thing about committing mistakes is that you can use it. Pwede mo siyang gamitin so that you can be better, so that you can learn. In fact, di ba, I believe this, that the biggest miracles, the biggest blessings in our lives, oftentimes what? They start out as what? A mistake. As a wrong decision. And from there, what you do, you learn, you make yourself better, and the blessing starts to be unraveled. Ito, the next tip, practical way to love yourself is very important. Ito, do not focus on the approval or disapproval of others. Marami sa atin we 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 find meaning and purpose in our lives if people will approve us, 'di ba? Kung gusto, ganun tayo eh. Gusto natin parang yung worth natin naka-anchor dun sa kung ano yung sinasabi ng maraming tao sa atin. Kaya pag sinasabi ng tao, "Uy, ang galing niya." What? Ay, ang saya mo. Pero pag sinabi bigla ng tao, "Ano ba naman 'to? Walang magawa, ang bobo, ang tanga." Ano, ganun ka na rin. Again, you need to discover. A lot to loving yourself is really discovering who you are. And who you are is not dependent on what other people will tell you. 'Di ba? Alam mo kung sino ka. Walang ibang makakakilala sa'yo kundi ikaw mismo. Ikaw ang unang-unang makakakilala sa'yo. And as you make yourself better, what? 'Di ba? Pag yung mga tao sinabi nila sa'yo, "Uy, ang galing mo." Thank you. But always be appreciative when people tell you na magaling ka, may na-accomplish ka, thank them. Pero don't anchor yourself on what other people will say. Pag hindi na kasi nila sinasabing you feel bad about yourself. Or worse, yun na nga, you start to believe what other people are telling you, lalo na yung mga disapproval nila. Again, who you are, loving yourself will really depend on knowing who you are. And it's not about what other people will tell you. Yeah. Next, practical tip. Since we are not perfect, since we will make mistakes, we need to what? Forgive ourselves. Alam mo, mahirap magpatawad ng iba, pero mas madalas, maraming tao, mas hirap patawarin ang sarili nila. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to say na okay lang yan. Nagkamali lang ako, babangon ako. A lot of people would dwell on the past, would dwell on their past mistakes, would dwell on the past situation, and oftentimes, you don't love yourself. Why? Because hindi ako karapat dapat mahalin kasi ito ang mga mali ko, ito yung mga hindi ko nagawa. Again, very important to self-discovery, to knowing yourself and eventually learning, diba? Learning to love yourself is forgiving yourself of your past. Diba? Your future will never be defined by your past. Your past can never define the future that you have. Why? Because every day is a brand new day. Every day is a new day to start anew. Again, embrace your past, know your past, learn from it, but wag kang magpatali sa nakaraan mo. Why? Because you can always do better. So just always forgive yourself. And lastly, ito, very important, especially now, no, in these times. How do you love yourself? Yeah, do something every day that makes you happy. Your happiness depends on how much you can love yourself. How much you can love others would also depend on how much you love yourself. Why? Kasi you cannot give what you don't have. So make it a habit to do something every day that makes you happy. Tanong, what makes you happy? If it makes you happy to watch a telenovela or a K-drama, 'di ba? Panoorin mo. I mean, of course, there's always yung tamang balance, 'di ba? Wag naman yung buong maghapon puro teleserye ka na. I mean, especially for you, you're working, ngayon, lalo na yung mga yung mga nag-work from home. Imaginein mo, you're working at home from 8 in the morning. Kanina narinig ko si Coach Ronan, yung intern pa lang, 12:00 na ng ating gabi, nagtatrabaho pa din. Give yourself a break. Mini breaks, mini breaks. And then those mini breaks, what do? Do something that you love. Kung kinakailangan for 10 minutes, maglaro ka lang ng favorite game mo. Or for 10 minutes, if you love reading, read that book that you love to do. Or ako, I love eating. So, from time to time, I will eat. Especially yung pag ganitong weekends, O, ay, nako, kahit na may diet ka, pwedeng break muna sa diet, 'di ba? Para muna. I mean, you need to feel love. You need to feel that energy, that joy. What makes you happy? Do it. Parang kami ng mga anak ko, last Friday, we went out. We went to Laguna, nag-overnight kami doon. I mean, it's been a long time, hindi nakakalabas yung mga bata. So again, we followed protocols, safety and all. Pero 'di ba, especially in this pandemic, ang dami nating limitations, but we cannot just live our lives with those limitations. From time to time, we need to do things that will make us happy. It will remind us, yung happiness na yun. It will remind us to what? To love ourselves, that we are loving ourselves. And when you do that, you know what? The best thing about this is when you're happy, when you're loving yourself, then that is the best place where you can start loving others and making others happy. Diba? You don't just stop with yourself. But that's the first. Again, you cannot give what you don't have. You want to take care of others, you need to take care of yourselves first. So now at this point, I would like to go on. Again, sabi ko nga, this is something that perhaps you already know, but needs to be reminded of. In our lives, hindi pwedeng may dichotomy. Hindi pwedeng nakahiwalay. I believe that every area, every aspect of our lives is interconnected with each other. Kapag maayos yung isa, dalawa, pero yung tatlo, hindi. Or kahit nga maayos yung apat, pero may isang hindi maayos, somehow it will still affect you. And today, that is what we will talk about. Again, reminding ourselves of how we can take care of each area of our well-being, of our happiness. So today, I have 5 cups of taking care of our self. And when we take care of these 5 cups, we achieve what? Total well-being, total wellness. So let me go through one by one these 5 cups. Unahin natin. Ayan, of course, your physical self-care. How do you take care of yourself physically? I've noticed this. When there are days that I would feel, alam mo yung parang wala kang energy, yung parang nanghihina ka. And what brings out my energy, pag medyo gumalaw-galaw ka, di ba sabi nga nila, galaw-galaw, baka ma-stroke. You need to be moving so that you can bring out that energy. Kaya sa umaga, kapag yung kulang ka sa energy, yung di ka makagalaw, try mo mag-exercise 10, 15 minutes, just break a sweat. Then all of a sudden, di ba? Minsan ganun tayo, parang feeling mo, naku, para akong lalagnatin, para akong magkakasakit. Gumalaw-galaw ka lang muna and then you'll realize, ay oo, ano lang pala, no? And then you start feeling well, you start feeling better. So again, take care. Physical health, exercise. This is very important. We have different ways of exercising. I believe walang one size fit all, di ba? O, kung ikaw gym ang magpapa-exercise sa'yo, go ka. Itong mga anak ko and yung asawa ko, they've been exercising this past few months. How? In the morning, 3 times a week, gigising sila 8 in the morning, salang ng Just Dance. So for the next 1 hour, sasayaw lang sila to their favorite tunes. Yan. Kaya kanina na-hold up ako kasi expired na daw yung subscription do sa mga magagandang sayaw. So na hold up ako, nagbayad ako ng subscription, but that's okay. Why? Because they talagang sila lang, hindi ako kasali doon. Why? Because ako iba din. Like this pandemic, I started exercising. How? Kasi natuto din akong halaman. So spending time in the garden, that's my exercise. Or doing chores at home can be an exercise, 'di ba? You can do sports. Kasama 'yan eh. Taking care of your physical health. Pero hindi lang exercise. Ito very important. What food are you eating every day? Are you choosing healthier foods? Are you choosing the right food to eat? Why? Sabi nga nila, what we eat, we become that. So ano lang mo, if you're eating healthy food, you become healthy. If you're always eating junk food, what happens? Your body becomes junk. Diba? So that's important. Exercise, food. Ito, do you get enough sleep? Tamang tama ba? Nakakatulog ka ba? 'Di ba? Kaya yung sabi ko, okay lang yung okay lang nagne-Netflix, nagke-K-drama, but not at the expense of getting enough sleep, 'di ba? Pag kulang ang tulog mo, pagising mo sa umaga, 'di ba? Iba pakiramdam mo, masakit, masama. So this is very important. How we give our physical body rest is very important. Ako ito, I've been practicing this siguro mga 3 years already, and it has really revived my health. Yan. Taking enough, drinking enough water. Di ba? Drinking enough water, di ba? Tayo natutunan natin yan. 8 glasses a day. Naku, hindi yan. There's this formula of how you can know you're drinking the right water. Unang tip ko, pag nararamdaman mong nauuhaw ka na, ibig sabihin kulang ka sa tubig. So dapat the whole day hindi mo maramdamang nauuhaw ka. So just keep on drinking. Something that I learned from my health mentor, how do you compute for the amount of water that you will drink? Kasi 'di ba, for example, ako saka si Coach Darwin, magkaiba ang pangangailangan ng katawan namin sa tubig, 'di ba? Ako kung 180 pounds ako, si Coach Darwin mga 200, biro lang. 'Di ba? Iba yung water needs namin. But how do you compute that? You compute for that by yung weight mo in kilograms. Your weight in kilograms, you multiply it by 50. That would be the number of milliliters of water that you need to be taking in each day. Meaning to say, depending on our body type, iba-iba talaga yung needs natin. But then again, water. What does water do? Ang dami. Ako, ang daming benefits ng water. But then I could really highlight. Ako, for the past 3 years, I've been drinking the water that my body needs. And it says lang, talagang a lot of our sickness, a lot of our physical and body sickness is because of us not getting enough water. So again, drink the right amount of water. And of course, ito talagang importante, less in sedentary lifestyle. Lalo ngayon na nasa bahay ka lang, nakaharap ka sa laptop, nakaharap ka sa computer maghapon, from time to time, stand up from time to time. Iwisik mo yung mga kamay mo, move, act, and maraming mga enzymes sa katawan mo na na-activate when you move, and it promotes your healthy physical body. So again, this is the first, pero hindi dito lang. It doesn't end in taking care of our physical body. This is just the first cup. The second cup is, ito importante, your social self-care. Now in this time of pandemic, no, siguro we may say ito yung isa sa pinaka-naapektuhan. Kasi all of a sudden, we need to distance ourselves. Diba? Social distancing. All of a sudden, balita ko, nagbukas na daw mga sinehan o magbubukas na. Pero di ba, for almost 2 years, you haven't gone to the cinema, hindi ka iba pa rin yung big cinema. Di ba? Hindi na pwedeng mag-party ngayon ng madami, di ba? Yung mga ganyang bagay. Dati, work ka Friday night, alam mo na yan. O, time to socialize with your friends, go out with your friends. But what do you do? Di ba? What do you do in these times? Porkit ba bawal, porkit ba nalimitahan, wala ka nang gagawin. Of course, there are a lot of ways to keep on, to be connected. I guess when we talk about social self-care, it's all about connectedness. And there are many ways, other ways for us to connect people. Diba? Do you still connect to your family, to your friends? Do you still hang out with people? To is importante, people who can support you. Let's take advantage of the technology that we have, di ba? Yun yung maganda ngayon eh. We have technology right in our hands to still continue to connect. Itong ginagawa nyong itong HR cafe na to provides you with connection. Yes, you will say it's limited, but still, kesa wala, 'di ba? Ngayon all of a sudden ang dami ko nang naatenan Zoom parties, 'di ba? We need to be creative in how we continue to connect. Alam mo, being connected also talks about who you connect with. Especially now, grabe no, the power of social media. Choose. Choose the people that you will connect with. Very important that you connect with people who can uplift you. 'Di ba? In social media, choose what you're watching, who you are following, even the shows that you will watch, 'di ba? If it doesn't uplift you, stay away from it. 'Di ba? Choosing positivity over a lot of negativity ngayon eh. I mean, you can always filter your social media just to follow, 'di ba? Those that will uplift you. Again, physical self-care, social self-care is all about connectedness. Lalo ngayon, no, ito paunti-unti we're easing out with our quarantine. 'Di ba? Hindi namang ako, there was a time, grabe, ang connection ko lang nung talagang prior to the D variant, I was already going out, I was doing my groceries. Yan ang connection ko, yung to be able to talk to the kahera in the grocery or what. Tapos biglang nung nag-D variant, kahit grocery hindi ka makalabas, ay grabe, nakakabaliw, nakakapraning. Pero now na nag-ease up na, the other day I went to the grocery again. Just continue to follow the safety, the protocols and all, but still maintaining that connection with other people, especially with the people that you love, people that are close to you. So never forget that in this time na talagang medyo naapektuhan yung ating being able to connect and socialize with others, we need to be intentional in doing it. So continue to be connected with others. Now we go, ito, usong-uso ngayong panahon ng no, ng pandemic, talagang grabe. We've been, especially our minds, our mental wellness has been affected. But how do you take care of your mental wellness? Ito very important. Self-talk. Manage your inner critic. Sometimes, 'di ba? Bakit ba tayo parang nababaliw o na-anxious or na ano? It's because of the things that we also say to ourselves. Our beliefs, 'di ba? Yung paniniwala natin. So we need first and foremost again to manage ourselves. What do we tell ourselves? 'Di ba? How critical do we become of ourselves? So managing those internal self-talk, 'di ba, will also help manage your mental awareness, your mental wellness. In this time of pandemic, in these times of lockdown, how many of you have, 'di ba, turn to positive things, reading inspiring books, learning new things, 'di ba, will help you manage your mental wellness. Kami nung asawa ko, we've enrolled in online classes. Grabe ngayon, ang dami-daming opportunities to learn new things even in the pandemic, 'di ba? Ito yung panahon ang daming nauso ang baked sushi. O aralin mo magluto niyan. Instead na bumibili ka, edi aralin mo magluto. Nauso ang mga plantito at plantita. Nako, ako for the past since early this year, grabe. From 10 plants to ngayon, ang tawag na ng mga anak ko sa aming garden is, Dad, we live in a jungle already. Di ba? Things that you can, kung saan mo ba pwede ibaling yung isip mo. Kasi minsan talagang, 'di ba, ang dami talagang negative things around you, but you need to rechannel, you need to refocus and learning new things, 'di ba? Will keep your mind away from the negative things. Aside from that, when you learn, you become better. 'Di ba? Sige nga, lagay nyo nga sa comment section, ano yung mga bago? Ano yung mga bago na natutunan nyo ngayong pandemic over the past year, more than a year already? Ano yung mga bagong bagay na natutunan nyo? And most importantly, ako I think ito, there are things that we can control. There are things that is outside our control. What will you focus on? Kami, like sabi ko nga, kami sa family namin when the pandemic started, tas nakakalito, ang gulong-gulo ka na sa lahat ng queue na meron tayo. But kami, we realize na what we can control is kami lang. So, kahit papalit-palit yung quarantine, we have our own set of quarantine rules here at home. And we adjust it based on how comfortable we are. Diba? Why? Because we can only control ourselves. We can only, hindi namin pwede kontrolin yung, hindi naman natin makokontrol kung nag-mutate yung virus, 'di ba? Lahat na ng delta, lambda, lahat na 'di ba ng mutation nangyari. But can I do something about it? Can you do something about it? No, we cannot do something about it. What can we do? We can set our own protocols. Mayroon namang protocols ang government. If you're not comfortable with it, and then follow. Kung hindi nila kailangan diktahan kung anong gagawin mo. Again, sabi ko nga, there are things that you can control. Do whatever you can control. And all the rest, you just need to surrender it. You need to let go of it. 'Di ba? Minsan may problema ka, may pinagdadaanan ka, meron ka lang pwedeng gawin eh. Pag nagawa mo na yung pwede mong gawin, then you've done. 'Di ba? You've done already what you can do. If you continue to, 'di ba, ano na, ma-anxious ka na, mai-stress ka na. Hindi natin pwedeng pilitin, 'di ba? Hindi natin pwedeng ipilit. Again, you have control over yourself. Do what you can. Anything out of that control that you have, you surrender it. Just focus on what you can control. So, di ba? Ito importante. Physical health, social health, mental health, and number 4, emotional self-care. Managing your emotions. Ako po, I'm a very emotional person. Si Coach Darwin could attest to that kasi we've been friends for how many years, Coach Darwin? Binabanggit niya nga kanina right before the show, mag-aano na daw sila, 30th. Magte-30th, ano na sila, reunion, anong tawag dyan, homecoming nung high school. So we've been friends since high school. Uh, Again, how do you respond to the things that is happening around you? How do you manage your, kasi very important yun eh, yung emotions mo, how you're feeling, and hindi lang yun, how you're responding to how you are feeling. That's managing your emotions. Oftentimes, di ba, stress happens when you can no longer manage emotion that you have. So again, you need to be attached. You need to be connected with your emotions. You need to acknowledge how you are feeling. Because when you know already how you are feeling, that's the only time you can start dealing with it. So ito very important. I know of people, especially now, daming namamatayan, ang daming nawawalan, negosyo, trabaho, mahal sa buhay. And it gets there. It really affects you emotionally. First step is acknowledge, embrace. Embrace the feeling. Hindi po masamang malungkot, hindi masamang mag-grieve, hindi masamang magalit. These are all emotions, diba? Hindi masamang maging masaya. I mean, whatever emotions you have, positive or negative, it's okay, it's normal, but you just have to acknowledge it. You need to embrace it so you can deal with it. 'Di ba? Kung positive emotion 'yan, edi tuloy mo lang. Kung negative emotion 'yan, then you deal with that emotion. 'Di ba? Para ma-manage mo, maayos mo. A lot of our stress emotionally is anchored on us not being able to forgive. So in these times, practice forgiveness. Sabi ko nga kanina, no? Forgive yourself so you can forgive others. May iba tanong, hindi naman humihingi ng sorry, bakit ko patatawarin? Hindi siya karapat dapat patawarin. You know what? Ako, this is my belief. yung forgiveness is not a gift you give to that person. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself first. 'Di ba? Pag natuto mo ng forgiveness is not the same as forgetting, ha? Because you need to continue to protect yourself. Forgiveness is, ano yung forgiveness? Sa akin, forgiveness is yung hindi ka na nag-iisip na gagantihan mo pa siya o may gawin ka pa masama sa kanya. But of course, you remember and you learn from the experience para hindi na siya umulit at hindi na siya makaulit. But then again, forgiveness is a decision that you will make. You will decide na I'll forgive this person already. Yung tatanggalin mo na yung sama ng loob, yung galit mo sa kanya, yung hindi ka na nag-iisip na, nako, sinaktan mo ko, sasaktan din kita. Yung wala ka ng ganun, that's forgiveness. But then again, as you forgive someone, you need to have that layer of protecting yourself, making sure na hindi na niya mauulit 'yon, 'di ba? There are times that you can forgive somebody who hurt you and love that person from afar. O 'di ba yung mga hugot kanina nila Coach Darwin, 'di ba? Kailangan may label. Pag ayaw labelan, edi let go of that person. Hindi naman kailangan ipilit na siya. 'Di ba? Pag niloko ka na isang beses, okay lang 'yon. Linoko ka pangalawang beses, patawarin mo pa rin. Pag linoko ka pangatlong beses, ikaw na may problema doon. Again, a lot to taking care of our emotional whatever we feel is anchored to us being able learning to forgive is learning to love others. Ito, importante rin in taking care of our emotions, self-compassion. Hindi lang yung hindi lang sa iba pero sa sarili mo. Maawa ka din sa sarili mo. Pag sobra-sobra ka nang sinasaktan, kaawaan mo ang sarili mo, mahalin mo ang sarili mo. But more importantly, ako I guess that the real secret to really having that healthy emotional wellness is being kind and compassionate to others. When you learn to love others, when you learn to forgive others, when you learn to not be indifferent. Kaya ngayon, ako tuwan-tuwa ako. I guess, in this pandemic, isa sa mga, we see this pandemic a negative thing. Oo naman. Pero ako, what I love about this pandemic is I saw a lot of people really extending themselves, showing kindness and compassion to other people who needs it, even if sila mismo kailangan nila, 'di ba? Naapektuhan ka naman ng pandemic, pero ba't tulong ka pa rin ng tulong sa iba? Why, 'di ba? Tignan mo, 'di ba pag tumutulong ka, hindi lang yung naawa ka tumulong ka, gumawa ka ng something to help others, 'di ba you feel better? You feel happier. Again, managing your emotions, dealing with your emotions, recognizing your emotions and acting on especially yung mga positive emotions that you have will help you manage your emotional wellness. So what cups have we talked about already? We've talked about physical cup of wellness, social cup of wellness, mental and emotional. Lastly, I think this is something that would really tie in everything together. Sabi ko nga, every cup of wellness is connected, interconnected to one another. But to tie it all up, I believe in this. 'Di ba? Your spiritual self-care. Yung your belief, when I say spiritual self-care, I don't want to talk about religion, 'di ba? No matter what religion, it's not about religion, but it's about believing in something higher than you, bigger than you. So whatever religion you have, whatever it is that you can ako at the end of the day, it's connecting to that higher being. How could you connect to that higher being? If it's God, how do you connect to God? If you're a Muslim, how do you connect to Allah? If you're a Buddhist, how do you connect to Buddha? Di ba? Ganun yun eh. I mean, oftentimes kasi we put this aside in our business to be able to do all the things we want to do to accomplish our dreams, to make things better for our lives, for our family, 'di ba? To make our dreams come true. Masyado tayong busy na tuparin yung mga pangarap natin. We forget our purpose. We forget that higher being that is above us, 'di ba? Who has given us the capacity, the ability to be able to do all these things, 'di ba? For many of us, if you're a Catholic, minsan Katoliko ka lang kapag linggo, pag nagsisimba ka, paano nitong pandemic? Online na lang, di ba? You start to disconnect yourself to God. So if you want a total wellness, a total well-being, you need to always connect to God, di ba? Prayer, scripture, sacraments. I love our Catholic faith. For those of you who are Catholic like me, our Catholic faith is so rich in traditions and on how we can continue to connect and reconnect with the Lord, 'di ba? Ngayon nauuso din yung quiet time, just meditating, 'di ba? Just trying to free yourself, your mind of all the negativities, and then communing to that upper being that is above you. So again, there are many ways. Again, the key here is what? The key is to stay connected. Total wellness is being connected with yourself, with your emotions, with others, with your physical being, with God or whoever it is that you look up to. So again, let's just go back. 5 cups. What are those? 5 cups: physical, emotional, mental, social, and spiritual. When you take care of each and every facet of your wellness, again, sabi ko nga, there should be balance. Hindi pwedeng if, iba, when the balance is disrupted, that is when something happens. So make sure that you are intentional. Again, the key word here is to be intentional in taking care of all these aspects of your wellness. Now, my question is this, ayan, 'di ba? As we went through those 5 cups, 'di ba? Alin diyan? Which cup of self-care do you need to work on? What activities can you do to start taking care of yourself? I wanna end. I still have a few more slides. This will be quick. I wanna tie in everything together. This total wellness. When I started, di ba? When I started, sabi ko nga sa inyo, how would you remember? Di ba? That was the question. How would you remember this pandemic? So I wanna ask you this question. In this pandemic, what are you most grateful for? Parang sabi nyo, talaga ba, Coach Joel? Meron ba? Again, how you see things, how you perceive things would also dictate, would dictate the kind of life that you will live. Diba? Question, why should you be grateful? Meron ba? At bakit ka dapat magpasalamat? Paano ka makakapagpasa? How can you be grateful? I want to go through some slides and I want to ask you, what are you seeing in this slide? What are you seeing? May technique yan eh. Pag tinignan mo ng pag ganito, may makikita ka. Pag medyo tumagilid ka, iba na makikita mo eh, di ba? Di ba? Like here, some of you may be seeing a frog, some of you may be seeing a horse. So iba. Or this slide. Di ba? What are you seeing? Are you seeing that old man and woman facing each other? Or are you seeing those two guys, those Mexican guys, di ba? Playing the guitar and singing, di ba? Again, we're looking at one same picture, di ba? But we're seeing different things. Ito, are you seeing a rabbit or are you seeing a duck? Di ba? Iba-iba yung nakikita natin. Here, diba? Are you seeing a, what? Candelabra ba yung nakikita mo? Yung lagayan ng kandila? Or nakikita mo ba yung dalawang taong nagtitinginan? Again, one image, yet we will see different things. Ayan. O ito, di ba? Are you seeing a woman? Or are you seeing a man playing a saxophone? Why? Why am I asking you this? Why? Because, ito our perception will dictate our action. Again, how we see things will dictate how we will decide, how we will move, how we will act. Now, my question again, tatanungin kita, is there something that you want to be grateful for and thankful for in this pandemic? Yun ang tanong ko, anong nakikita mo? Do you believe that you are that your total wellness is good and healthy, or do you don't believe it? Again, what do you see? Why? Why is this important? Because ito, your perception becomes your reality. How you see things becomes the reality that you will have. In other words, what you focus on grows. If you focus on your health, then it will grow. If you focus on positive things, it will grow. But if you're always negative, you focus on the negative things, then it will also grow. If you are always thankful, then you will always see what you need to be thankful for. But if you're always grumbling, reklamo ng reklamo, what grows? Eh di yung mga bagay na inirereklamo mo, yung mga bagay na may mga bagay na hindi mo gusto. Our lives, you know what? Our lives is what? 90% is how we will respond to what actually happens. The truth is this, our lives is just about 10% is just what really happens. Pero what affects that these situations, what affects it is how we will respond to it. And where do you have control with? Do you have control with the 10% or do you have control with how you will respond? Again, friends, di ba? Saying, what you see, what you perceive becomes your reality. So I want to ask you again a question. Di ba? Is there something that you can be grateful for in all of this that's happening around us? When you start to say yes, then you are blessed. You are already, if you see that you are blessed, if you see that there are miracles, if you see there are positive things happening, then you will realize it and it will happen. But if you don't see it, then you want a secret. You wanna know the secret of how it is to become grateful. Ito to, the secret to being grateful is to know that you are already blessed. To know that there is something to be grateful for. And how do you become grateful? How do you become grateful? Ito, gratitude comes from that. Being able to say thank you. Acknowledging things that you can be thankful for. You want to be happy? You want to be healthy? You want to enjoy your life to the fullest? I want to leave you with this. Ito. Be more grateful. Be more grateful. I want to end. Remember si Jane. Remember niyo si Jane? Sumikat siya this year this season of American Idol. Jane also known as Nightbird, 'di ba? Naalala niyo siya? Meron siyang isang magandang sinabi that I also would wanna leave to you today. Ang ganda-ganda nung sinabi niya. I mean, you look out there, there may be, yes, a lot of things that is not going right. Lalo na ngayon, ano, ito na naman, sabi nila, matatapos na daw yung pandemic kasi nagsisimula na yung season ng election, malilimutan na yung pandemic. Ang gulo-gulo pa din. But yeah, sabi ni Jane, sabi ni Nightbird, sabi niya, you cannot wait until life is not hard anymore before you decide to be happy. Again, friends, it's your decision. Happiness is your decision. Being healthy, your total wellness is your decision to make. You just need to be what? Intentional about it. Do things to take care of each and every cup of wellness. And when you do that, diba? When you, amidst whatever it is that's happening around you, when you become intentional and then you achieve what you are looking for. Lastly, because I am not just Coach Joel, but because I am also Brother Joel, I want to leave you with this word that has been what? This has been my this has been my anchor, the anchor of my life. I'm 44 years old, and for the past 40, more than 40 years of existence, this has really helped me in going through everything. When I remember that, in the word of God, he says, "For I, the Lord your God, is with you wherever you go." Friends, wherever you are, in your joy, in your happiness, in your victory, God is there. In your trials, in your pain, in your suffering, God is there. He never leaves us, He never abandons us. He's always with us. May we always find strength, may we always find courage in the Lord as we face our everyday battles, as we face our day-to-day lives, and knowing, believing that God will always be there for us. There. Whew, there you go. So, yeah, Coach Darwin and
Yes,
Mentor
thank
Rona,
you so much,
again,
Coach Joel.
thank
Naku,
you, thank
napakaganda
you.
naman po ng discussion mo. Ayan, dun po sa ating mga nakatambay ngayon sa ating Facebook page. If meron po kayong question, please put that in our comment section para ating pong mabasa ang inyo pong mga katanungan. Ayan. Ako, ang dami ko natutunan, Coach Joel. So pag ano pala, pag walang label, dapat nang i-let go. Yun talaga yung yung take up. Yun talaga yung take away.
Ay, ay, ah, ang ganda
Kahit
ng ano mo,
haba, yun lang yung
learning
take
mo.
away.
Very important.
Sabi ni RC, having a job right now is a huge blessings
So,
in this time of pandemic.
this is very true, ano? Sa dami ng nawalan, pag may trabaho ka pa. Ako, I always tell people, kasi minsan, ano, parang, this is the time to best appreciate also our employers. Kasi, di ba, affected din sila. If you're working for a business, a company, they have been very affected. Minsan ano na parang kulang. You see yung kulang, yung hindi nila nabibigay, but you forget that a lot of people have lost their job. Pero ito, andiyan pa rin yung kumpanya mo. I mean, giving the best whatever they can. So yeah, appreciating. Saying na, ay, may trabaho ako. Thank you, Lord. And
Lalo na yung sa mga small
continue to give your
companies.
best.
I actually,
Totoo.
alam mo yun, naaawa na in awe of small companies na hanggang ngayon existing pa rin. Kasi it's harder for small companies. For bigger companies, kahit papano, may ano sila, may fallback sila, they have budget and everything.
Maraming bala.
Yes, but small
Malalim ang galon ng
companies, 'di
pera.
ba? Small companies don't have that. Small companies have to worry about payment of lease. Kahit pa sabihin natin naka-work from home, dire-diretso pa rin naman ang bayad sa renta. Payment of yung
Oo.
mga holiday pay, yung mga separation pay if ever they have to let go of some employees. And some small companies may not have that, alam mo yun, big of a budget to really cover all of those. So yung mga employees, we're not saying na no, we're not invalidating the fact that some companies may be a toxic workplace, but if you are in a business or in a company that is really trying hard to make ends meet, I hope you do appreciate what the owners are doing for you.
Agree. Sabi ni Anne Leonardo, our reaction determines our wellness. Really,
Yes.
it's our reaction in everything. How we react on the situations that is happening around us will determine also, di ba? And will show what we are and who we are as a person.
For example, pag lagi ang reaction mo galit, yung galit mo what? It affects your mental health. It affects your emotional health. It affects your spiritual being. It affects everything eh. So kaya very important that we learn to choose how we will respond, how we will react to the things around us. Sabi ko nga no, 10% naman yung nangyayari. Pero di bakit 90%? Lagi kang galit o di may heart problem ka, hindi ka makatulog, hindi ka makaano kasi lagi yung ganon. Again, talagang ano, ako siguro I will also have to share this. Ano dati napaka-reactive kong tao. Pero yung natutunan kong ano, tigil muna, process muna, isip muna, lalo na bago ka magsalita. Ako ang daldal ko, Coach Rona, alam yan ni Coach Darwin eh. Pero di ba, hindi mo na kayang bawiin eh, yung mga sinasabi mo. Lalo na sa mga mahal mo,
True, true.
di ba?
Pag nabitawan
Kaya
mo na,
yes, kaya talagang ano, matuto kang kumagat muna sa labi, sa dila bago magsalita before you react. And I realize na pag binibigyan mo ng space yung sarili mo before reacting to something, mas nakakapag-isip ka, mas
mm
napag-iisipan, mas nararamdaman mo yung pwede mong gawin at isipin yung gagawin mo. And it also affects the people around you, not just you.
Coach Joel, may question ako. Kasi usong-uso ngayon yung cancel culture. And it's very toxic for some. I mean, yung cancel culture, it's toxic. Um, kasi kawawa yung naka-cancel. And yung nang-cancel, at some point, naka-cancel din sila. It becomes a cycle. So, what's your take on that? And what's your suggestion for people who are getting canceled, even if just within their social circle? What's the best way to handle that?
Ako, again, parang, saan ka lang may control? You cannot control people around you. 'Di ba? You can only control yourself. Eh di, alam mo, kasi totoo yan, 'di ba? Katulad sabi ko kanina, kung lagi nating iniisip yung sasabihin ng ibang tao, if we're always after the approval of others, or we get too affected by the disapproval of others, ganun din yun, 'di ba? So it affects us. So again, just go, ako kasi ang paniniwala ko, wala naman tayong kailangang patunayan sa iba. 'Di ba? So, if kung ayaw nila sa'yo, I mean, 'di ba, we cannot please everyone. We cannot, 'di ba, lagi at lagi,
Mm-mm.
even if you do the best that you can do, even if you, lagi at lagi may maiinis,
May
magagalit
masasabi,
sa'yo,
oo.
o may masasabi sa'yo. Pero yun na nga, just keep on doing what you need to do without having to think about, I need to prove myself to these people, 'di ba? So again, it starts with you, eh. But yeah, ako, I
Mer-
believe that it's a cycle. Kung lagi ka nang
Mm-mm.
ka-cancel, babalik din yan sa'yo.
Meron tayong question from Kim Andre. Medyo malalim-lalim ito. How do you know if you love yourself na po?
Wow, 'di ba? Ako, sa akin, loving yourself means you're doing things. Doing things to love yourself. May mga simple things na yon, yung kasi minsan ito importante, ha. Lalo na sa self-care. A lot of people would say, ang selfish ko naman pag ginawa ko 'to. Yung pag inuna ko ang sarili ko, selfish ako, hindi yan totoo. Kapag sarili mo lang ang iniisip mo, selfish ka. 'Di ba? Pero kapag iniisip mo ang sarili mo at iniisip mo iba, then you're not selfish, you're loving yourself and you're loving others. So how do you know that hindi naman kailangang nagagawa mo na lahat, but when you're starting to do things to love yourself, yung loving yourself means, yung alam mo, it starts with what? Yung just believing that you need to love yourself. Simula na yun, eh. Yung paniwalaan mo pa lang, may ginawa ka na para mahalin yung sarili mo. Ako, I wanna talk to a lot of, I know, tayo mga Pilipino, no, mga tayo, lalo na yung mga nagsisimula magtrabaho. You know what, when Coach Darwin started HR, the Philippine HR group, tinanong ko yan, eh. Na-remember, Darwin, because I started helping you with the Facebook. Sabi ko, bakit mo to ginagawa? Sabi niya, gusto niya tulungan yung mga nagsisimulang HR practitioners. So that they can be better in their career as a HR practitioner. Ang dami-dami natin yung mga yung mga batang nagtatrabaho na na sila, provider na sila ng family nila. Kahit single sila. Alam mo, kasi sa amin sa ministry, sabi nila, ay, pag single, maraming pera yan, maraming oras yan. Sabi ko, hindi parate. Kasi maraming single, kahit walang asawa, they provide for their family. Ganun tayo, di ba? Pero I also would wanna teach single people na magtitira ka lagi para sa sarili mo. Yan, you're loving yourself kapag may tinitira ka sa sarili mo. Marami kasi all out. Tapos ako, I know of somebody, 20 years na siya nagtatrabaho. All out. Ngayon wala para sa sarili. Paano pag nagkasakit ka? Paano kapag may pangangailangan ka? That's loving yourself. Yung lagi ka may tinitira sa sarili mo. Ako nga, sa akin, kailangan unahin mong isipin ang sarili mo, pero wag lang sarili mo. Isipin mo din yung
Agree.
iba. So that's really, loving yourself is really doing things to make yung when you become better, that's loving yourself, 'di ba? Anything that will benefit you is loving yourself. So do things that will help you improve and become better. That's loving yourself.
Ayan. May sinabi si Miss Mary Jane Retic. I think pasasabi natin na love na natin ang sarili natin if we feel satisfied with true happiness kasi mararamdaman mo yun din.
Yeah.
Ako sa akin, pag sinabi mong you already love yourself, pag, yun nga, tulad nga ng sabi ni Coach Joel, pag kaya mo nang unahin yung sarili mo, pag inuuna mo na yung sarili mo, at pag mo yun, the highs or yung mga times na masaya ka sa ginagawa mo is more than the lows. Mas madalas ka nang masaya sa
Yeah.
ginagawa mo kaysa doon sa mas madalas kang nalulungkot, natatakot o kung ano pa man. You are already starting to love yourself. There's no definite end ng
Yeah.
masasabi natin na, uy, 100% I love myself. There's no such thing
Yes.
like that. Kasi minsan, mo yun, tao tayo eh. Minsan, yay, I love myself. Pero may mga times na, yay, ano tong ginagawa ko. Diba?
Hindi saka
Pero
ang
if
love naman is not always ano parang 'di ba when you
consistent,
love hindi
oo.
laging saka hindi laging maganda, masaya. Ako nga
True.
sinasabi ko, yung 'pag nagmamahal ka dapat ba masaya lang? Yung mga nagmamahal kahit mahirap, 'di ba? Ako ito tanong ko sa mga singles o pwede ko kahit tanong kahit kanino. 'Pag nagmahal, sino dito ang nagmamahal na nasaktan na? Yan ang tunay na pagmamahal. Na
Ang
kahit
sak-
nasaktan, 'di ba? You can only say na nakapagmahal ka na kapag nasaktan ka na habang nagmamahal ka. Kasi pwedeng nagmamahal ka kasi everything is okay. Everything is happy. Pero 'di ba 'pag nasaktan ka na, dun ka tunay na nagmamahal. Alam mo ito masingit ko lang ha, naalala ko kasi ako when I do trainings, I talk to the employees. Meron akong isang ito about loving yourself. Tinanong ko, mga empleyado 'to, anong mga pangarap nyo? Alam mo ang gaganda ng sagot nila. Pangarap ko mapatayuan ng bahay yung nanay ko, tatay ko. Pangarap ko mapagtapos ng ng college yung mga kapatid ko, pangarap ko ganito, ang dami nilang pangarap. Ang dami nilang pangarap para sa iba. Tas iniba ko yung tanong, sabi ko kung wala kang iniisip, if ito papangarapin mo, assure kang mangyayari, anong pangarap mo? Isa-isa naglabasan yung mga pangarap nila para sa sarili nila. Ay, pangarap ko mag-bakery, magka-business na ganyan. Yung parang sabi ko parang, yes, it's good to dream for people, for others, pero dapat wag mong kakalimutang mangarap para sa sarili mo. Kasi 'di ba, pag ubus na ubus ka na, paano ka magmamahal ng iba? So kailangan mahalin mo muna. Paano ka mangangarap para sa iba kung wala kang pangarap para sa sarili mo? So always always it starts with us. Health, wellness, it starts with us. And then it will flourish. It will translate. It will transfer to the people around you.
Agree.
So, yeah.
Sabi ni Mary Jane Retig, follow up dun sa sinabi niya kanina. When you feel satisfied and you start sharing those happiness, that's really more that you'll know that you're happy. If you're overflowing with happiness, you're able to share it with other people, then it means that you're happy, di ba? Sabi naman ni may question dito, interesting. Paano po pag nawawalan ka na ng ganang gawin ng mga bagay-bagay? Jillian Harmones, napakabata mo pa para mawalan ng interest, mawalan ng gana sa mga bagay-bagay. Would you like to take this, Kuya Joel?
Ako, always go back to the why.
The why.
Always go back to
Correct.
the purpose. Alam mo, ito yung tinuturo ko eh. Any dream that kahit gaano kalaki ang pangarap mo, kapag walang malaking bakit, walang big why, walang meaning. Kasi 'di ba pag alam mo yung dahilan bakit mo to ginagawa, 'di ba? Kahit na I mean, it's natural, it's normal. There will be times na mapapagod ka or feeling mo ayoko na, ay parang walang nangyayari. But always go back to the very purpose of why you're doing. And it has to be bigger. The purpose has to be bigger than whatever dreams or whatever goals you have. Kasi pag laging mas malaki ang purpose ng dream mo at ng goal mo, kahit mapagod ka na, okay lang yun. Ang pagod, katapat lang ng pagod, pahinga.
Pahinga.
Tapos, balik ka uli. Start ka uli. Pag nagkamali ka, nag-fail ka, okay lang yun. Matututo ka doon, tapos balik ka uli. So, pag wala ka ng
Yes.
gana, balikan mo. 'Di ba? Parang ay bawal ba mag-branding? Bakit ka gumigising sa bawat araw?
Sabagay.
Yeah.
True. Ano lang, step back ka lang, Jillian. Step back, take a deep breath, and then, yan. Go ulit.
Saka
Lahat naman
normal
ng
lang
tao,
'yun.
oo, lahat ng tao, even the people that you see here on your screens right now, napapagod din po kami. May mga times din na parang gusto mo na sabihin na ayoko na talaga. Pero, hinga ka lang, pahinga, tapos biglang, uy, in love na naman ulit. Hugot na naman ulit.
Pero yeah.
Sabi nga, meron tayong sinasabi pag pa nag-work tayo. Yung sabi nga kanina ni Coach Joel, pag napapagod, magpahinga. 'Di ba? Pag mapagod pahinga, huwag mo sabihin araw-araw na nakakapagod na magtrabaho, nakakapagod na pumasok sa trabaho, nakakapagod na yung boss mo. Well, 'di ba? Those are the things that you can only take action on the things that you can influence. If you cannot influence something and you cannot take action on it, then it's a reality. Ano pa? Hindi ka puno. If you need to go out, if you need to move, then move. Diba? You're not a tree. Do not stay where you are at. Share ko lang I have this I have learned this from one of my friends. Ano yung mineral water? 'Di ba? A bottle of a mineral water in 7-Eleven would only cost 8 pesos. A bottle of mineral water, same mineral water, would cost 50 pesos in a five-star restaurant. That same mineral water would cost 300 in
Sa
a
airport.
five-star resort like a Manpulo. What does it teach us? The mineral water did not change. The bottled mineral water did not change. What changed is the venue, the location. Baka hindi ka na-appreciate doon kung nasaan ka. And you need to move to a place where you will be appreciated.
Di
That's
ba
where
kaya
your value is.
kaya Coach Darwin, importante yun sa self-care, yung finding people who will appreciate you, love. Kailangan laging, para tayong sasakyan, kailangan laging wala kang mapupuntahan kung wala kang gasolina. Kailangan you always fill your love tank with love. So,
I
kaya
remember
kailangan
the last time.
importante.
Yes.
No, I mean, surround yourself with people that will love you. Pero, di ba, there will be times talagang lahat sila sa paligid mo, hindi ka mamahalin. Eh di ikaw muna. Pero also always remember, kasi minsan ito totoo, nalilimutan nating mahalin ang sarili natin. Hindi pa tayo ng mahal ng mga tao sa paligid natin. But when we remember that there is someone up there whose love never fails, whose love never ends, yun yung magpupuno sa'yo. Pag wala na talaga, ang nakakatawa, nalilimutan natin yun. Eh sa lahat ng pagmamahal, yun ang hindi nawawala. 'Di ba? Pagmamahal mo sa sarili mo pwedeng maubos. Pagmamahal ng iba sa'yo pwedeng maubos. Pero yung pagmamahal na yun, it's always there.
Dagdag ko
Sabi ko,
lang ha.
yeah,
Ano
go.
sa mga HR natin, ano din kayo ha, be careful how you define love. Kasi baka sinasabi natin, the people around me do not love me. Pero what's the definition of love? Kasi there's also such thing as tough love. The people
Yeah.
around you are pushing you to go beyond where you are right now, pushing you to develop yourself. Baka we are seeing that as them being, being kumbaga negative. Pero ang totoo, dahil pala sa pagmamahal nila sa atin, talagang tinutulungan tayo na mag-develop. So, when we say people do not love us, the people around us do not love us, let's also be careful how we define love. It's not always um, rose-colored glasses. It's not always something that's happy. Sometimes, sabi nga ni Coach Joel kanina, di ba, sometimes love is painful. Kaya nga, di ba, sino ba yung, I forgot who is our speaker the other time. Ang sabi niya is, passion is not happiness. When you follow your passion, you're not following something that you're happy. Kaya nga, passion of Christ. Kasi may kasamang sacrifice.
Yes.
So, careful tayo whenever we define love. It's not always na yung mga kapaligid sa atin na, ang galing-galing mo, I like you, you're so beautiful, you're so good at this. That's not always love. Sometimes love comes in the form of, hoy, ano ba yan? Bakit mo ginawa yan? Ano sa tingin mo ang mali dyan? People calling us out may also be an act of love. So we also have to be careful with that.
Agree.
Yes, Coach.
Agree.
Coach Ron, ako ang measure ko ng totoong nagmamahal sa akin, hindi yung taong magaganda lang ang sinasabi sa akin. Ang measure ko, kaya si Coach Darwin, alam kong kaibigan ko talaga yan because he can tell me upfront. Kaya niya rin magbigan ka because I can tell him upfront kung ano yung may at tama, kung may maganda o hindi. because that's the truth. I mean, yung puro-puri lang ang ibibigay sa mag-ingat ka. Pero yung taong kayang sabihin sa yung masakit, but of course, there's always a way of saying these things. But minsan, 'di ba, kita mo bilang mag-asawa, mag-aaway kayo minsan, pero ano you go back to the purpose again, it's love. So yun din, tama ka doon coach na talagang love can be expressed in so many ways. Pero yeah, kaya nga totoo ka lang nagmahal pag kaya mong magmahal kahit nasaktan ka na, 'di ba? Going beyond. Love is more than an emotion eh. Hindi lang siya emotion. It's really doing what needs to be done. So yeah.
Correct, correct. Meron
Agree.
po, may pahabol po si Derek Faustino. Sometimes it's not selfishness, but rather it's self-care. Learn the difference. Guilt trips won't
Yes.
help. Correct, correct.
Ano ata yan eh, kay Derek, being able to, love is also being able to say no to people and things. Because saying no would give you an
Mm-mm.
opportunity to give time for yourself or give time to more people who will need your love, di ba? Giving
Correct.
Oo,
space.
saka ano, you deserve it kasi. I mean, sabi ko, hindi lang sometimes all of the time, every time, you deserve to be happy, you deserve to be loved. And sabi ko nga, ikaw din ang unang magbibigay niyan sa sarili mo. 'Di ba? So ibigay mo. Wag yung sabi niya no guilt trip, wag kang mag-guilty. 'Di ba may iba nagi-guilty sila pag bumili sila ng let's say for example, bumili ako ng bagong sapatos. Diyos ko once a year ka na nga lang bumili ng bagong sapatos eh, nagi-guilty ka pa. Samantalang yung kapatid mo every other, 'di ba, 3 months yung ganon. So ano, wag kang magi-guilty pag minamahal mo ang sarili mo. Kasi ako ito paniniwala ko, kapag kaya mo mahalin ng sarili mo, mas kaya mo nang mahalin ng iba.
True.
'Di ba?
Agree.
Kasi mauubos ka eh. Ako may have a friend na gano'n, parang sabi niya, "Bakit gano'n? Binigay ko na lahat sa pamilya ko, ta's grabe siya sa mga kaibigan niya, kung mag-treat siya, manlibre siya," yung gano'n. Pero ang tanong niya pa rin, "Bakit hindi pa rin ako masaya?" Binigay mo na ang lahat sa kanila, pero ba't hindi ka pa rin masaya? Kasi baka nakalimutan mong magbigay, magtira para sa sarili mo.
Correct. Sabi ni Miss Michelle Delfinado, I have a new realization after hearing the presentation of Coach Joel. To sum it all up, to achieve happiness and success in life, you need to have 5 self-care well-being. For me, it's the foundation to achieve success in all areas of life, and that's the only time you can share to others the love, kindness, compassion, and time. True, very, very true. Oh.
Yep.
Sabi nga ni
Oh,
Coach Joel kanina, di ba, you cannot give what you do not have.
correct.
Ayan.
Okay, so
Actually,
we're
may isa
already
pa
at
akong
our
ano
time.
eh.
Oh,
Ay, sorry po.
sige,
May
better
isa
round
pa
na
akong
before the
ano,
episode.
may isa pang binanggit si Coach Joel kanina na nag-ano din sa akin, nag-stick din sa akin. Sabi niya kanina, isa doon sa 5 cups is the spiritual cup. And yun yung nagtatay sa lahat. And I really believe in this because you need something to believe in. A higher power, something outside of us that gives us hope. There was an experiment before. I forgot about if it's an experiment or a story, pero kumbaga nakakulong yung isang lalaki and ang meron lang siya is a window. Okay, and then I think the other people wala silang window. But the person who had the window, mas kinaya niya. The rest nababaliw na sila kung ano pa man. Tinanong nila what's with that person na may window. Sabi niya nakikita kasi niya yung langit. And as long as nakikita niya yon, he knows that there is life outside. And that keeps him, sustains him, makes him happy. So as long as we have something to believe in, there is that faith, there is that belief, no matter the form, we will survive. Kasi may pinanghahawakan ka eh. May pinaghuhugutan ka. So it's very, very important that you have something to believe in. It doesn't have to be, it is not a particular religion tulad nga ni sabi ni Coach Joel kanina. It's a higher being, a higher power if it's in the form of God, Buddha, o kung ano pa man yung pinaniniwalaan nyo. As long as you have someone to believe in, a higher power, kakayanin. Ayan. Coach Darwin?
Yes, and we're already time, of course, for to end the show. But before we end the show, Coach Joel, any last words or any invitations for our listeners and audience
Yeah.
that would be that who would like to reach out to you or would like to avail of your services or your counseling or would like to seek your help.
Yeah. Once again, thank you, HR Cafe, the Philippine HR Group, for this opportunity to just serve you. Alam mo, when I serve, I don't say na ako lang ang nakabless. Experiences like this also blesses me. So for those of you who would want to reach out, you can just message me through Facebook. Very open po ako, Joel Saludares. Just look for me there. Uh, in whatever way I can be of help, whether it's saang areas, wag niyo sa mga areas of your life, can it be personal, may it be in work, whatever it is, I'm just a message away. And of course, I would also like to take this time, isa talaga to sa right now, this is our advocacy together with my wife. Really, we want to empower, we we believe in empowering marriages, relationships, families. If we want a better future, siguro may konting selfishness in me because I want a better future for my children. It all starts with the family. If we want a better Philippines, 'di ba? And it is embedded in the families that we have. How tayo, lalo na siguro yung mga magulang na or yung magiging magulang pa lang, how we will raise our children, how they will feel love in a family would affect how they would become. So I would like to invite you all to follow us. We've launched ano to this project is an ongoing project, maraming facets. But recently, we've relaunched our podcast. It's Mommy Said, Daddy Said. You can follow us on Spotify, or you can also reach our Facebook and Instagram account. Mommy Said, Daddy Said. A book is on the way. We're writing already the book. There's the podcast. The Facebook live will come out really, really soon. Sabay tinignan ko si Mommy Said dun sa side na yon. But yeah, this is our way of really really reaching out and advocacy namin for a better future. It all starts with the family. And ako, yung wife ko would always say, dati pangarap niya yung happily ever after, tapos sabi niya parang scam pala yon, but now we realize that happily ever after can and will happen when you work at it, diba? You just have to work at it, but it's possible. So with that, again, thank you so much, Coach Darwin, Mentor Rona, for this opportunity. And yeah, just reach out to me on my Facebook profile, Joel Saludares, and I'm really very happy to respond to you. So yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Coach Joel. Matarona, before I end the show, any last words from you or anything that you would like to share to our audience?
Yes, sa ating pong mga audience, nais ko po kayong imbitahan. Of course, isa na naman pong webinar ni Uprush happening this Saturday. We have HR auditing, adhering to general labor standards. So how you can get ready if ever you have been scheduled for a routine inspection by DOLE. Mapag-aaralan po natin yan this coming Saturday na po yan. At para naman po sa ating mga nakasubaybay dito, ito lang po ang masasabi ko sa inyo. Start first with loving yourself. Okay? Pag kung ano yung meron, yun lang ang kaya nyo ibigay. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love others properly. Okay? So, love yourself the proper way. If you know what love is, you would be able to give it better. Okay po? What about you po, Coach Darwin? Ano po ang masasabi mo tungkol sa ating episode today?
Ako, before I end the show and say my last words about the episode, I would like to invite everyone to please support and watch us and watch me at the annual conference of PSTD this coming October 20 to 22nd. I'll be one of the speakers and also at the upcoming virtual HR summit of Arriva. I think on same date, pero virtual naman po yung mga event na yon. So please support us on that. I will be discussing actually, ang weird nga yung first topic is I'll be discussing about how organizations like the Philippines HR Group has grown and how it affected community and how it can be duplicated in different organizations or companies na gusto talagang magkaroon ng mga learning groups, 'di ba? Kasi marami sa mga organizations ngayon ang nakikita nila yung value ng mga learning groups or learning clubs sa kanilang companies. Now with about the show, nako wala na akong masabi kay Brother Joel. I've known him for more than 20 years of my life. And lahat po ng sinabi niya kanina, totoo po yun. For you to be able to love yourself, for you to be able to love others, you need to make sure that you love yourself first. And your love should be overflowing for you to be able to touch others and be able to be a blessing to others. Every time that you pray, di ba? Huwag pa nagpipray tayo, Lord, bless me so that I can be a blessing to others. That's what I've learned all throughout my life, and that's what I've been practicing. So, and believe me, the universe, our God, will always bless you abundantly because you are being used by God to bless others, di ba? So that's it. And this is another episode of the HR Cafe. Watch out next week, HR Cafe episode 66. And please stay tuned every Sunday, 3 p.m. Your weekly weekend learning session, HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. Maraming maraming salamat po. Bye everyone. God bless.